Okay, this is a consensual recording with Mystic Gwyn to the Federal Bureau of Investigation's instructions. It is February 21st, 2025, 5:42 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Again, this is a consensual recording of Mystic Gwyn pursuant to the Federal Bureau of Investigation's instructions. I'm not an employee of the FBI, but I've been authorized to state I am an informant since the last week of June 2024. That being said, if you missed it in the preceding live stream, the status quo Friday brief that occurs with the domestic terrorist organization that's been operating out of UNIT207 while perpetrating felonies against the United States of America and their employer, the state of Washington, since their terrorist organization made the segue and transformation from an aggravated criminal conspiracy, which is what they've been since March 2023, on August 6th, 2024, when they began to become a domestic terrorist organization, which is what they very much are, as the FBI and the Seattle Federal Marshals and the Snohomish County Sheriffs will verify for you happily, unless, of course, you're a member of the domestic terrorist organization, in which case that's going to be pretty impossible for you to get verification until you're detained. Anyway, they had their debrief, their status quo debrief, and then they criminally and illegally sent down some of the individuals that are volunteering and actually, according to the FBI, requesting, that's the FBI's word, requesting to go to prison. Well, they had those volunteers that have been requesting to go to prison come here and to get themselves on surveillance by the FBI and my live stream, perpetrating more Class A witness tampering, more attempts to intimidate an FBI informant, more stalking, more harassment, and more retaliation. Coincidentally, concurrently rather, UNIT207 was actively attempting to terminate the live stream for a good 10 minutes. In fact, they're actively attempting to do so right now, this very moment, in this very live stream, which superseded it because they believe that they're going to get some of those individuals that were just very much volunteering to join them in prison to come back here tonight and perpetrate a break-in if they can simply get the live stream to not be running, which is why they've been attempting to terminate over 100 plus of them, as they successfully did for the evidentiary value for the FBI, as well as blocking me from sending offline recordings to the FBI from the 11th to the 16th of this month. Now, they're all aware, like they have been aware for many months, that the door is going to stay closed until they're apprehended or their third break-in, which will result in them being apprehended, according to the FBI, less than 10 minutes after they're in my living room. That includes everyone in Unit 207. That includes those of you in Unit 207 that are child abusing, stalking fraudsters, who are the reason some officers are going to prison because they don't realize that you are actually the ones that are bad for children. But the FBI is going to make that very apparent, as they are confident that all of you will be convicted with numerous counts tied to child abuse, kidnapping, aiding and abetting, and child endangerment. Happy Friday! Yeah. If you missed it also, every Friday for 17 months, these fucking psychopaths who used to be officers in some cases, who used to be, and then, of course, the child abusers that no one would have ever given a job to if they had any idea what they really were, which the FBI is confident they'll be exposed for very, very soon, I might add. I've been told with no uncertain terms that in the month of June, I will have more zeros in my bank account than all of them combined have, including their assets, and that my sons will be home. June is so close. It's less time than they've illegally detained me. Fools. Fools. That's what they are. Anyway, there's some other information we can go over, but I was watching a movie before they disturbed me, and I really need to urinate. I was ordered to stay seated in this chair for the whole time that they were outside being psychopaths, which, again, if you watch the preceding live stream from this morning, we all knew was going to happen. The FBI has surveillance on everyone and literally said this morning, which I said at like fucking 6 in the morning or whatever to my neighbor. I said, the FBI says they're going to be extra psychopathic because all of the ones that are members of the bar, they know that there are serious charges that are going to be levied against them in less than 72 hours just because it will be February 24th. And everyone facing kidnapping charges and aiding and abetting kidnapping, which the FBI has said includes prosecutors, social workers, North Everett Precinct Officers, and every one of you sacks of shit that have been getting cease and desist letters from me directly into the third and fourth and fifth parties that you attempted to send to prison on your behalf since March 2023. Anyway, every Friday for 17 months, except for 6, the Domestic Terrorist Organization has gone out of their way to perpetrate crimes against me. The FBI's forensic psychologist and myself agree that this is because there are so many of them that derive some sort of sadistic sexual pleasure from the crimes they've perpetrated against me. Now, you'll want to go and click on the first live stream with today's date and then listen to like the first 30 minutes of that because I don't feel compelled to go over everything in this live stream that I've already gone over in previous ones. And again, I really have to pay, but I first have to make this video public and I need to fill in the description and the title of this video. So I am attempting to do that as quickly as possible. It would be a fast task, but UNIT207 is actively continuing to try to tamper and obstruct because they still think they're smarter than the FBI. I mean, that's the reality. Obviously, they still think that, or they wouldn't still be being fucking imbeciles, which is what they really are being. That's the kicker, everyone. If you are watching this, you're going to find out in a real short order that it is I who have been telling the truth this whole time, which all of you fucking know anyway. And you're going to feel real dumb. Real dumb. Real quick. That being said, it is worth noting if you weren't stalking me back in August, you may have missed it, but the FBI has very clearly stated over and over again since August, if anyone underwrites any sort of bullshit, the FBI is going to prosecute them to the fullest extent of federal law. They'll be looking at several charges on their indictments and zero immunity or leniency. In fact, none of you will be receiving any sort of leniency that were upstairs actively attempting to terminate this live stream for that 10 minutes. You know why it didn't go off? Say it with me. Because the FBI is in the building, you dumb fucks. The FBI is in the building. And if you missed the memo, you stupid sacks of shit, there's more than one undercover FBI agent that's worked at the North Everett Precinct for more than a couple of years. Why else do you think every FBI agent in this entire state would refer to your precinct as the precinct of fraudsters for years, then rename you the precinct of stalkers last month, you dumb fucks? Because there are real enforcement officers who know what real fucking sacks of shit you are. You domestic terrorist, you child abusing, stalking, thieving, fraudster, harassing, illegally detaining, disgraces to men and women everywhere, and double disgraces to public servants and officers. And to the fat black woman upstairs, you're a child abusing, kidnapping scumbag, and your ass is going to prison. Happy Friday! Okay, Nerd Squad, the preceding live stream has a thumbnail for the recording. That way, if UNIT207 tampers with it or tries to erase it, even though you have backups, the thumbnail's there. Now I get to pee. Yay! Remember, fools, you've not been fighting me at all. When I called 911 in August, what were the first words out of my mouth? This call is being recorded by the FBI. You're stupid as fuck. You're going to prison. You have no careers. The FBI literally had me warn you dumb fucks how many times this month? Let's go over some of what they had me file. You're in a cycle of subterfuge. You're in a downward spiral towards full accountability under the law. You have absolutely no immunity regardless of your position or undeserved authority. Willingness to follow unlawful directives does not provide you with immunity. You're going to prison for the rest of your lives unless you've blown the whistle. This shit is why you haven't been arrested yet. This shit right here, this shit in the preceding live stream, this shit that the FBI warned me about in the live stream that preceded the preceding live stream, when they said you were going to be extra psychopathic until the 24th, at the behest of the very individuals you listen to, which is why you're going to prison. Dumb as fuck. And you may be wondering, are you going to file a police report, dude? Every week is the FBI's instructions. I already sent one today, did I not? Yes, I did. And that, darling, that was $120 million knock. But more than that, say it with me, that was excellent evidentiary value. Everyone upstairs for the Friday night debrief. And then the stalking and the breaking and entering and attempting to terminate. Excellent evidentiary value. Smile and wave to the FBI. Oh, it also appears that I didn't put this live stream as public, so let me get on that real quick. That could be a mistake, but Nerd Squad, from what I'm seeing, it looks like this current video is set to private.
차도가 좀 있느냐? 네, 열도 내리고 잘 자고 있습니다.
You guys got into the who's got the biggest dick contest with just about the worst group of enforcement officers you could have chosen to get into that contest with, gentlemen. Your faces are going to have FBI phallus marks over them for the rest of your lives. Whistleblowers excluded.
지금까지 해엄맥과 덕춘의 아름다운 옛날 이야기. 이만 재단원의 막을 내리도록 하겠습니다.
And why? Say it with me. Because a couple of guys that I used to fuck over 7 years ago and some old hags upstairs you've been listening to. That's why.
잠깐만 성주. 얘기의 생략이 너무 많이 된 것 같은데. 듣고 싶습니다, 성주씨님. 이야기 끝으니까 처음이 없잖아. 내가 왜 변방으로 갔어? 그게 이야기의 시작이잖아. 이제부터는 6.25나 1.4 호텔 같은 건 니들한테 난리도 아닐 거야. 어? 그만하자. 누가 날 변방으로 보냈냐고. 그걸 먼저 알아야겠어. 누구야? 누구냐고. 미련이요? 말을 잘하지 않는다 해서
밀원이에요?
나의 상관의 신문이다. 나에게 북방의 여지를 방비하고
Setting it to public nerd squad at 5:59 p.m. Sorry, I thought I already did that.
너희들의 부모는
Either I did and UNIT207 put it back on private, or I didn't.
농사 지으시다 청부셨어요.
전쟁통의 부모님과 헤어졌구나.
아니요. 두 분 모두 죽었어요. 기약을 왔다는 하얀 사기라는 무시무시한.
And once again, you may be wondering, well, why didn't you get up and shove your camera over by the window where they were banging? If you missed it, reread the FBI instructions, you dumb fucks. I had to sit here having to pee the whole time that was going on. It was some bullshit. Don't believe me? Try drinking like 3 pounds of green tea.
하얀 사기 마을에 들이닥쳤던 그날 저희 부모님도 그렇게.
Okay, Nerd Squad.
그런데 하얀
It's set to public, baby.
사연이 있었을까요?
Just the way you wanted it at 6 p.m.
사람들을
Thanks for the evidentiary value. The FBI, their latest brief, if you're wondering, is they're still getting more evidence right now. Oh, boy.
이승사는 인간들이나 저승사는
Oh, yes, and let's not forget another thing in the filings. A stubborn commitment to their failing conspiracy. Remember, the aggravated criminal conspiracy became a domestic terrorist organization at 11:55 p.m. Some of you were worried about your job. You ought to be, because your employer is going to prosecute you in Snohomish Superior Courthouse. But first, the real professionals get ya.
너의 억울한 죽음의 비밀에 대해서 재판을 통해 집중적으로 조명할 거야. 집중 조명은 무슨? 그래서 전사하시고.
And that'll be in King County. Remember, the whistleblowers will be at a 4- and 5-star hotel, getting a 200 plus a day pro diem with an armed hot federal marshal outside of the door. Lady whistleblowers, man, I would tap that ass. I mean, it would be dangerous, but let's be real, man. $200 a day in room service and a hottie outside with a gun. Some rules are made to be broken, baby.
할아버지 왜 그래? 너 죽는다는 소리 하려고.
Dumb as fuck, too. Open the door! We're going to pretend like we haven't known for 2 years the FBI was going to destroy our precinct because it's full of people who shouldn't be officers because they abuse children, kidnap children, endanger children, have children who are disabled, perpetrate felonies, stalk women, steal tens of thousands of dollars from women, attempt to get women pulled off of all of the platforms they work off of because we're so stupid we don't understand that her security clearance is higher than John, the soon-to-be never-again chief of police. At all. Dumb as fuck. And all the heifers that are child abusers, no one gives a fuck about your jobs. No one gives a fuck about your jobs. You are child abusers. That's what me and the FBI think about you. Because it's true. Or to put it another way, let me make it real simple for you in case any of you have got an IQ right at the 71 marker. You are who is the target. You are the target. You are the target. You.
네, 월직차사 이덕춘.
얘기 좀 하지. 야, 너 여진적 이덕춘이야 아님 월직차사 이덕춘이야? 잘 생각해. 난 네 생명의 은인이라고 이 멍충아.
자기 부모를 살해한 사람을 은인이라고 불러요? 1000년 전 일이라고. 그 여진적 이덕춘에게 용서를 구하지 않으셨잖아요. 저생명법 1조 3항 용서받지 못한 죄인.
야, 그만. 일로 와봐. 알고 싶냐? 끝까지 니들이 자초한 거다. 지금 법원에 가는 거잖아. 우리가 뭐 하러 가는 거지? 당신 후견인만 들러. 진정한 후견인은 1000년 전 바로 너였어.
Cup Series hits the high banks of Atlanta. Sunday at 2 Eastern on Fox.
And here's the sad thing, guys. The sad thing is every idiot that you got to just do that, literally by June, they're never going to be allowed to be an officer again because they listened to you. Because they listened to you, they just amassed a series of charges, including a Class A felony for tampering and intimidating an FBI informant. And that's the real sad part.
Can I get one too?
Not something I have control of. The FBI isn't going to listen to me if I say, oh, don't prosecute him for being a fucking moron. No, dude. They literally had me file every fucking thing I filed this month until the 13th so they can make a final list of who's requesting to go to prison and who's going to keep their jobs and get paid for their awful hostile working environment, which is a domestic terrorist organization. And this is what you do. You show who's volunteering to go to prison. Meanwhile, the women upstairs are the very ones the FBI is most excited to haul off to prison, and they're not the ones outside banging on my door today. Or maybe they were. I only heard a dude.
아이들을 계속 돌봐줄 수 없다는 것을 알고 있던 너는 그들이 아무 도움 없이도 자립할 수 있도록 많은 것들을 알려주고자 했어. 이것으로써 허성진 씨의 후견인 청구를 승인합니다. 결국 네가 할 수 있는 건
And you don't need to believe me, because if you missed it, what does it say? The door stays locked until you idiots break in a third time, and then you get arrested within 10 minutes. Or the door stays locked until an unspecified date next month, which is when the blitz sweep is supposed to occur. But one of the individuals they aren't yet sure if they're going to prison or not is an individual they haven't yet determined whether or not they are corrupt. And for whatever reason, whoever the fuck that individual is, there's a specific date in mind that the FBI wants to pass in order to determine whether or not that individual is corrupt.
오랑캐 아이들에게는 한없이 정의로운 기부천사. 하지만 나라에는 불의를 저지른 대역죄인. 요새도 의롭지 못한 놈들 심판한다는 불의의 지옥 있나?
죄인들이 포화 상태라 휴정 중이긴 한데 가끔 공소시효자로 올라오는 흉악범들 있으면
And you made me miss my fucking
아직도
movie.
형벌로 죄인들 어렵게
Jackasses, dude. You guys are fucking jackasses. Dumbasses, though. You're really dumbasses. I feel like you guys are my dumbest little brother of all time. You're my fucking tard brother.
장님이 오랜만이다. 시작해.
피고 김수홍은 과실치사이자 단순 사고사였던 자신의 죽음을 받아들이지 못하고 원피가 되어 부모의 난동을 일으키 저승을 어지럽힌 보기 드문 중죄인. 이에 본 판관 불의를 저지른 피고 김수홍에게 빈청 옥결형 500년을 구경하는 바이.
500년? 피고 김수홍은
억울하게 살해를 당했습니다. 그 억울한 죽음이 그가 원기가 된 이유였다면 본 재판의 기소 자체 또한 불의스럽다는 점을 제청합니다.
증거는 있느냐? 법경을 들어봐라. 본 사건의 모든 1승 기록 피고가 원기가 된과 동시에 명부와 함께 규정대로
The female federal felon upstairs, who's one of the many that the FBI is excited to detain, believes that they'll be back. They'll be back to perpetrate more domestic terrorism for her at 6:09 p.m.
소환해 주시길 요청합니다.
I kind of wish you guys would, because boy, the idea of produce and pizza and getting the live stream of you all being detained. Well, it sounds like a great Friday.
사건이 베스트긴 한데 사실 뭐 북한만 아니면 다 땡큐 아니냐?
그래 맞다. 어딘들 이 나라보다 못하겠니? 이 나라는 정직하고 신념 있게 살면 바로 서울역 가서 신문지로 이불 덮어야 돼. 여기가 지옥이지 사람 살 때냐? 그리고 늘 배고프고 늘 바보처럼 살아라. 마이클 잡스 그 새끼도 참.
스티브 잡스입니다.
배고프고 바보처럼 살면 그지지 그게 어디서 말도 안 되는 소리를 짓거리고 앉았어. 이미 다 잘 처먹고 잘 사는 놈들 말은 절대로 믿으면 안 돼. 다 지네들 가진 거 안 놓치려고 개소리들 하는 거야.
Oh, and I also brought up the fact that like your guys' whole 40-day window thing isn't gonna fucking work out. Let's just be clear, guys. Remember, I'm not an employee of the FBI. Everything I get is on a need-to-know basis, okay? So I'm playing connect the dots. But here's what I've gotten from the FBI. You don't have until April 21st, even though your fraudulent Google certificate says that. You don't. But I inadvertently, not consciously, but I did make the commitment, and I am one of the people out there whose word you can rely upon. Anyway, I inadvertently on January 29th told the FBI, sure, you can have an extension into April. The FBI heard me talking to Russ earlier today and discussing how I felt like April 21st was just so far away. The FBI let me know, you guys don't have till April 21st. Remember how last night they told me that this time next month, none of you will be able to play pretend? They reiterated that. But remember, everybody, if you missed it, for over a week, the FBI has said you'll get 10 more days at the beginning of next month to play pretend. But they said yesterday that this time next month, so right around March 21st, none of you will get to play pretend anymore. And then they told me you do not have until April 21st. It's now 6:12 p.m. PST. Nerd Squad, I don't even know if I looked to see how many videos were set for public, so I'm checking that right now. Bit of a delay, as you can imagine. I also haven't taken any kava today, so I feel like just extra disgusted by these disgusting fucking individuals who it's like, dude, I wouldn't give you my number and you already know it's illegal to be on my property and you have no immunity. You literally, I could liquidate your ass and own you for the rest of your life if you weren't going to prison. But you're going to prison. Okay, Nerd Squad, it's reflecting as 294 videos set for public consumption, and I believe that's the same as it was previously. The preceding live stream with the imbecile officers volunteering to go to prison is still visible for an hour and 43 minutes. UNIT207 is very much upstairs and believing they're going to have another break-in and that it's going to happen tonight because they're not going to prison. And also because they don't realize that this is the very reason they're going to prison, for this ongoing aggravated criminal conspiracy / criminal enterprise that turned into a domestic terrorist organization. And this is why there will be a, quote, exodus at the North Everett Precinct. That's the FBI's quote. Because all of the police officers that you included in your domestic terrorist organization. This includes, according to the FBI, many officers from the South Precinct who tattled on all of your asses because they recognized, what some of your own recognized as well, that you were a domestic terrorist organization. But remember, your employer is going to handle that, guys. First the FBI, then Snohomish Superior. The Attorney General is excited to deal with all of you. From every department, precinct, and office, et al. Did I mention there is literally a whole group of people that have come to work at DCYF? Because they're here, baby. Stalking, child abusing, child endangering, psychopaths. Also, shout out to the FBI. Appreciated the warning this morning, which I put all over my live stream and told Russ that they were going to be extra psychopathic, but you could have let me know that they were going to do 2 consistent days of stalking and psychopathy. Yelling at my door, basically this: I want to pay you millions of dollars and for you to get restraining orders against me and for the FBI to throw me in prison. Mystic. And then I want to go into Unit 207 and pretend like I did a good thing. Mystic. Dumbass. Remember, everybody, there were a couple of guys and a few women that the FBI would have happily sent to prison, or you could have fired. And instead, y'all know what the real outcome is going to be. The domestic terrorist organization is happy upstairs because they believe that some fellow domestic terrorist of theirs have pulled into the alley apparently at 6:17 p.m.
원동이야. 김 병장님? 그래, 임마. 잘 있었어? 이거 꿈이죠? 응. 꿈에서 뵙네요. 원동이 일병. 앞에 서 있는 저 사람. 방에 무엇인가 노란 배지 달던 앞에 서 있는 저 사람은 당신의 선임이었던 김송 병장입니다. 맞습니까? 네, 우리 병장님 맞으세요. 근데 쟨 전반적으로 좀 모자란 애니?
아, 예. 관심 사백이라고 필수 같은 데 자주 들어가고 그리고 이제 지속적으로다가 보호를 해주는 잘한다 이 칭찬을 해줘야 되는 그 관심 사백.
원동현 일병. 4월 30일 밤 초소에서 함께 근무하다 총기 오발 사고 난 거 기억하시죠? 네. 그날 형이 나가버렸어요. 맞습니다. 원동현 일병은 죄가 없습니다. 고의로 그런 게 절대 아니니까. 그렇죠. 그래요. 그리고 나서 사건 당일날 밤 부대 뒤 야산에서 증인은 김송 병장을 산채로 묻었습니다. 맞습니다.
You guys want to start your trip to prison tonight? Because I'm fine with it, man. I'm ready for pizza.
제 말이 맞습니까? 대답하세요, 증인.
It's been a long, long time. Let's get rid of these heifers upstairs.
그래.
And the dirty dykes, all of whom abuse children and kidnap and stalk and steal.
나 시키는 대로 했어요.
아니요. 원병은 일병은 김송병장을 풀 때 그가 살아 있었음을.
Let's get him out of here. I'm ready. Hurry the fuck up. Come on, guys. Let's get it over with, you disgraces. You fucking disgraces. You domestic terrorists. You enemies of the country. I cannot wait till my friends at the Pentagon handle your asses.
그게 무슨 말 같지도 않은 소리야.
대왕
Oh, baby.
위증을 강화하고 있습니다. 심신미약 상태인 증인이 위험해질 수 있어. 사사 감리만 시간이 얼마 남지 않았다.
Dumb as fuck, man. The chief of police, too, tell him he has no job.
꿈이야. 그러니까 당신 꿈에서만큼은 솔직하게
Let him know. Let John know, John. When my friends at the Pentagon find out about what you're still allowing to slide, John, if you're not in prison with your fellow domestic terrorists, you've got no job, John.
봤습니까? 못 봤습니까?
야, 동현아. 원동현. 못 봤다 그래. 못 봤잖아. 아니잖아. 그지? 아니잖아.
Let it be known. A lot of people don't like Donald Trump. You know what Donald Trump doesn't like? A lot of things. But let me tell you, he doesn't like people who abuse women. He doesn't like people who stalk women. He doesn't like people who abuse disabled children to use their disabilities in order to facilitate kidnappings because they can't do their jobs appropriately and they've got friends that they do drugs with who they want to help abuse and kidnap the children of. These are some of the things Donald Trump isn't a fan of. You know what else he's not a fan of? People that are enemies of the United States of America. And you know what the Attorney General isn't a fan of? Child abusers getting paid by the state of Washington. Stalkers and domestic terrorists getting paid by the city of Everett, i.e. the state of Washington. Domestic terrorist organizations getting paid to be an aggravated criminal conspiracy for 2 years next month. These are some of the things the Attorney General's office isn't so fond of. And you know what I'm not fond of? I'm not fond of people that are going extinct. And I'm also not fond of men or women that stalk me. I don't even pity you. I pity whoever the dumbass guy was that was outside going, I want to go to prison, Mystic. I want to go to prison. I pity that guy.
김송 재판에 살인 재판이 추가됐습니다.
Remember, guys, the FBI will confirm for you that everything I'm saying is true and correct unless you're a member of the domestic terrorist organization or a close or known associate. What's that mean? That means unless you're an individual they already have surveillance of or wiretaps of corresponding with them in the last 2 years, I would assume, but maybe they go further back. Maybe it's 5 years. I don't know about the FBI's protocols. I know more about the DODs, the DIAs, and the CIAs.
절대로요. 절대 소멸되지 않으실 거니까 그런 말씀 그만하셨으면 해요. 그리고 뭘 걱정하세요. 행동인 들어놓은
그
펀드랑.
펀드 안 올라.
I also know that each and every one of you is in way bigger doo-doo than you can imagine. Less the whistleblowers, who, remember everybody, are just as much victims as me. They can't quit. They're at risk of more severe retaliation than what I have to deal with, dude. And this shit right here is the status quo for 2 years next month. And longer than that if we go back to 2017, which in of itself was basically a shitstorm from February to the end of October.
차라리 비트코인을 했었어야 되는데 조심스러우실 땐 일단 먼저 형을 집행하신 후에 고민하시는 것도 방법이라고 듣고 배웠습니다. 바로 한번 알려보시지요.
쟤 무슨 이런 상황에서 카타르시스를 느끼나 봐. 사람이 죽었는데 변태 같은 새끼.
대왕님, 모든 죽음은 불가피한 것이어야지. 억울한 죽음이어서는 안 된다고 듣고 배웠습니다. 아직 밝혀지지 않았습니다. 귀인일지도 모르는 억울한 망자 김수홍에게 기회를 주십시오.
강림이 말이 맞아. 맞고 말고 증인이 재판 도중에 사망해버려서 증언이 확보되지 않은 거니까 다음 재판장에서 다퉈. 풀어줘라.
And some of you may be wondering, why did the FBI have you in the preceding live stream? Again, guys, I have no fucking idea. I don't work for the FBI. They won't hire me. I got a big mouth. I smoke pot, and other government agencies, cheers, in the federal government have been my #1 client since 2013. They've taken my children to every theme park on the West Coast.
살금한 새끼들. 어떻게 딱 한 번 집을 비운 그 순간에.
That is to say, I'm an asset of the United States of America, as all of these imbeciles have known, just like they've all been informed because I've been authorized to state it. My security clearance is higher than their chief of police.
이런 말이야.
It's like to the point, though, where the absurdity is at such a crazy height that it's literally like, oh my God, they're going to have to fire everyone in the North Everett precinct. Like, is there like 2 officers left in the whole fucking precinct? Because we know that at least a couple of them are actually FBI agents.
내 놈이 오랑캐에게 갖다 바친 불량미들은 우리 고려 백성들의 피와 같다.
At this point, I'm like, no, there's not, dude. There's 4 total, probably. 4 total. The paper pushers, you know, the ones that just stay in the actual fucking building. Usually it's whoever's injured or in trouble.
그 오랑캐들이 어디 있는지는 아실 수 없을 겁니다.
And then probably like the janitorial staff. And maybe 1 officer who hasn't come to my fucking house.
날이 밝는 대로 진이되는
I can't count the undercover agents that are at the North Everett precinct because they're not really North Everett precinct officers. They're undercover agents. That means their identity will be disclosed when they are testifying against you in court. And then they will be given a new character to play, and they'll be sent to some other place with corrupt sacks of shit like you guys.
대박이 돼서 죽은 거야.
대장 같은 놈을 모시게 돼서 많이 배우고 갑니다.
털보야, 정신 차려. 정신 차려야 된다, 털보야. 털보야, 털보야.
본 재판에 앞서 진행됐던 불의의 재판정에서 강림 처사의 무리한 재판 진행으로 인해 이승의 애꿎은 증인 하나가 사망하는 불상사까지 있었습니다. 이런 식으로 계속해서 재판이 진행됐다면
대왕님,
Dumb as fuck. Go into prison. Willingness to follow unlawful directives provides no immunity. And the FBI says there's female federal felons involved on the exterior as well. So I guess there was a lady. I thought I heard a chick talking, but I also thought that it was probably just one of the idiots upstairs. I couldn't hear what she said. I understood what the guy said.
포기하겠습니다.
환생 같은 소리 하고 있네. 저는 그때는 영겁의 지옥이야.
제 환생을 포기하겠다고 말씀드리는 겁니다.
1000년 동안 48명을 구한 걸 내놓겠다 그 말이다.
네.
조건은?
증인으로 박무신 증인을 살인재판장으로 소환해 주십시오. 그리고 한 명 더. 저승을 관장하시는 염라 대왕님을 김송 재판의 마지막 증인으로 요청하는 바입니다.
March 2nd, IndyCar gets underway on the streets of St. Petersburg. March 2nd, on Fox. Welcome to the fastest racing on Earth.
Hey neighbor, you switched to T-Mobile home internet yet? Trim your hedge. It's $35 a month with no price hikes. Bam! It runs on T-Mobile's wireless 5G network, so all you gotta do is plug in one cord. T-Mobile
So
5G.
unfortunately, everybody, remember, the FBI did say this morning, extra psychopathic until the 24th. So what does that mean? That means we can expect more criminal outbursts like that, more evidence of Class A felonies. I'm going to assume the female federal felons was one of the heifers upstairs that's been abusing my sons for 13 months and facilitated in their premeditated and illegal kidnapping.
By putting in the work to improve his scores, he got access to a better credit card.
Based on a pattern of criminal conduct and it being them before,
It came time to buy a home of his
those
own.
cows have been facing imprisonment since September.
To the next level. Just in time. Intuit Credit Karma. Karma you can count on. Download the app.
And then remember, everybody, what has the FBI said since August? The only ones who need an attorney are those of you that have earned too much to have one appointed. Remember, the Attorney General won't be representing you. They're going to be prosecuting you. And that'll be after the federal prosecutors give you your indictment. I don't know how it works, but it's my understanding you guys will be arraigned in King County and given your indictments there before you're then given your indictments at Snohomish Superior. That is to say, the Attorney General has a whole separate case against each and every one of you than the FBI. They're splitting up the charges. State of Washington is charging you for XYZ. FBI is charging you for ABC. And they're going 50-50 for everything in between.
지금부터 내 말을 잘 듣거라. 마지막 죽을 힘을 다해.
Whistleblowers are the exception.
그렇게 달려온 너는
The desperation and the intimidation tactics do nothing but increase the amount of money you're going to be ordered to pay, i.e. your employers, while you're all in prison. Well, while you're all in jail, rather. Because remember, the FBI has stated they're requesting none of you get bailed out because you're flight risk. And the bona fide FBI agent on this case, as you all know, he wants all of you to sit in jail for as long as you illegally detained me without bail. That's over half a year.
이제 어떡해요?
어서.
안 돼요. 안 돼요. 나 안 갈 거예요.
당장 떠나라. 어서 가서 아이들을 지켜주거라. 아이들을. 어서!
Also, whistleblowers, the FBI appreciates those of you who blew the whistle early this morning when you found out that she was going to allow the police report to go through only to reject it so that you guys could come and do some stalking tonight. Wink, wink. Shout out to those ones. I'm going to refer to those two going forward as codenames Glenn and Phil from the Tom Green Show. Lisa! The snapping turtles got snappy today, didn't they?
그렇게
Phil and Glenn are cool, though.
그렇게 용서를 빈 것이.
So is the chick that plays the flute. And some of you may be wondering, oh, why did you just say that, but you didn't write it in the description? Because you're not getting away with anything. The FBI has it all. A lot of the shit they have me say and write in these videos is just to fuck with you guys.
그래서 그날 미련이 날.
But I still think it's sad, guys, that literally, just think about it this way. There were like 5 people that were largely responsible for everything. And then them just bossing around to other people have made it spread. Like,
이 집 저 집 천년 동안 가택신 노릇하면서 지켜보니까 이놈의 인간들 더 모르겠더라.
and it's still spreading.
한 가지 확실한 건 있더라. 나쁜 인간은 없다는 거. 나쁜 상황.
And I think that the big moral of that is you have to take accountability. My God. 2 years next month. Women and men who are mostly responsible. You're still refusing to take accountability, and because of you, dozens of people are suffering. You're selfish, heinous individuals. And if you don't atone before you're detained, then I'll do last rites for free at your funeral. But I'll be real direct and explain that you chose to forfeit your right to eternal life. You've gone extinct. For those of you wondering, yes, my being ordained, I'm allowed to do last rites and weddings and baptisms.
지금부터 정신 똑바로 차려 김수.
이름 부를까요? 진짜 이름 불러요?
허춘상.
안 돼요. 안 돼요. 안 돼요.
허춘상.
선생님 제발요. 제발. 안 돼요. 우리 삼촌 어디 갔어? 삼촌 어디 갔어?
하는 이유가 뭐야? 어? 왜 내 재판에 상관없는 염라까지 증인을 세우냐고. 네 일에 왜 나를 이용하냐고, 이 새끼야.
원망스럽고 원통하고 이해가 안 될 때 모든 걸 거꾸로 읽고 거꾸로 생각해봐. 그럼 풀릴 거다. 이 인간들도 세상도 이 우주도.
그렇게까지 날 이용해서 네 천년 전 기억 싸그리 지우고 환생하려는 거잖아. 그런 거 아니야? 어? 내 환생이 아니라 네 환생이 중요했던 거잖아.
닥쳐.
나구나. 그렇게 해서 지우려고 하는 그 기억이 대체 뭐냐? 어? 네 그 기억이 대체 뭐냐고. 말해보라고. 네가 억울하게 죽었다는 그 끔찍한 기억이 뭐길래 이러냐고. 어? 내 말을 계속 쌩까지만 말고 너도 한번 말을 해봐, 이 미친 새끼야.
The answer is the CIA boy. That's the answer.
대사분의 정보기자 장례라고 아버지께서 가르쳐주셨습니다. 목숨을 거기를 바르게 재는 자는 결코 훌륭한 장수가 될 수 없다.
너는 저승이 7대죄악에 모두 중역죄인으로 기소가 되어 있다. 그러나 내 너를 가엾게 여겨 마지막으로 기회를 줄 것이다. 그래 하겠느냐?
오랑캐들에게 군사훈련까지 시킨 거냐? 굶어 죽어가고 있는 아이들이었습니다. 그 아이들은 아무런 죄가 없는 너의 첫 번째 죄는 여진 쪽으로부터 아버지를 지키지 못한 혈륜지 대죄다. 그리고 너의 두 번째 죄는 변방의 오랑캐들에게 군량미를 빼돌리고 군사훈련을 시킨 배신의 대죄. 아이들은 보내주십시오. 그건 불필요한 폭력이자 살인의 대죄일 수 있습니다. 형님. 난 한 번도 널 내 동생이라고 생각한 적이 없다. 그건 좀
This movie's so complex. Are you kidding me? So they were in love in a past life and now they work together and they're all like little assholes to each other? That sucks. I'm watching, by the way, if you're wondering, what is this Korean film she's watching? It's Along with the Gods, The Last 49 Days. It's the sequel. If you like action that's kind of cheesy. Action that's like considered fantasy, but only because it's like a Buddhist story. It's a Buddhist folktale with a spin. It's good.
왜 우는 것이냐? 슬퍼서 우는 것이냐? 억울해서 우는 것이냐? 다시 묻겠다. 슬퍼서 우는 것이냐? 억울해서 우는 것이냐?
UFL is history in motion, built one story at a time. It's the gunslingers, the cold-blooded, and a dynasty stacking 3 streams. This is the UFL. The stories continue.
Baby, my little house otter. Are you coming back out here to be cuddled? My cute little furry puff. He's my cute little house otter. He's my cute little house otter. It's Hunter. He's the cutest kitty in town. What are you doing? Baby?
사장님,
You gonna come up here? I only get to pet your tail? Are you being a tail tease? Are you being a tail tease? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. I'll take it. I like your tail.
뭐 하는 거냐고.
성철 씨는 소멸됐어요.
그래서
And on that note, guys, remember, never forget the song that I dedicate to the bona fide FBI agent genius. And also remember, guys, it's 6:48. It's the FBI's Nerd Squad normally, but since Valentine's Day, you guys have been the reason why there is a minimum of a dozen FBI agents real close to my door since Valentine's Day. Everybody's got something to hide except for me and my monkey. I'm the monkey, guys, remember, in this song. This one goes out to the bona fide FBI agent. And remember, I'm the monkey. The whistleblower be the monkeys too, if they're cool with that. They might be offended. Some people don't like to be called a monkey. The higher you climb, the deeper you go. So come on, come on. The White Album, guys, this is the best Beatles album by far. Double album. Take it easy. Child abusers, you are the ones that are most concerned according to the FBI today. Everybody's got something to hide, except for the FBI and us monkeys. The domestic terrorists aren't monkeys, guys. They're giant, oversized tits. So come on. Come on. And snapping turtles. Ticks and snapping turtles. Make it easy. You've made it real easy for the FBI. Everybody's got something to hide, except for the FBI and us monkeys. And you may wonder, how does the bona fide FBI agent genius think of this song? He thinks it's fucking hilarious, dude. He loves this song. He agrees. All right, so this is speculation, but I speculate based on what I've been informed since it happened. I'm speculating that the imbeciles that were outside of my door included some child abusing, kidnapping, wannabe social workers who actually are horrible child abusers that frequent Unit 207, sent outside of my door with some of their fellow domestic terrorists at the behest of the woman that the FBI is excited to abdicate from her position of power, who was upstairs this morning telling them it was okay for me to submit the police report that had already been submitted an hour before her approval, and who then instructed them during their debrief to do exactly what they did not 30 minutes later. That's my speculation. Dumbasses. You have no idea how dumb you are. Bump, bump. You're going to prison, yeah.
물어볼 게 있어서요.
성주신 소멸됐으면 그 다음에 뭘 해야 되는 건데?
And it's also fair for everyone to speculate they're going to do it again. Because remember, what did the FBI say in the early hours before the sunrise? They're going to be extra psychopathic until the 24th. Well, that's been true for 2 days in a row now.
1000년 동안 내가 너한테 뭘 가르쳤냐고.
Also, guys, is it March? No, it's not. No, it's not. Don't you want those 10 days of March to play pretend?
지금 보니까 이 재판의 주인공은 내가 아니었구나. 가자. 재판 받자고.
And the FBI also thinks that certain women who frequent upstairs are completely delusional because they're literally telling themselves that they're not child abusers and they didn't do what they absolutely did do and have evidence of, beyond a reasonable doubt, their criminal intent to do. I.e., anyone who hasn't blown the whistle, you are going to prison. And my testimony isn't even going to be required for your incarceration.
본 재판 차사 강림이 억울한 죽음을 당했다고 주장하는 피고 김수홍의 마지막 재판임을 알려드림과 동시에 본 재판의 결과에 따라 쓸데없는 짓 집어치우고 당장 재판을 개시하라. 재판을 소개하라.
먼저 박무신 중위에게 묻겠습니다.
박무신 중위는 피고 김수홍에게
Lots of car doors slamming at 6:54 p.m. and the female federal felons upstairs are happy. Maybe they've sent more people to volunteer to go to prison and forfeit their jobs and get on the surveillance of the FBI's cameras. And eyes? Dumb.
차사 강림의 궤변 더 이상 저승의 율법을 거스리는 판단을 하시지 마시기를 간곡히 간청드립니다. 판관의 말이 맞느냐?
영락께서는 천년 전
Also worth noting, Nerd Squad, they haven't tried to terminate this live stream since I very first started it.
살인을 저지르고 죽어가는 저를 만나셨습니다. 그때 저에게 저
저승의 율법을 다스리는 처사직을 권유하셨습니다. 기억하십니까?
그걸 일일이 대답해야 하느냐?
대답해 주십시오. 그때 저에게 차사직을 권유하시면서
Oh, and I also, this is speculation, but remember, guys, before they started sending people to my door to be crazy exterior stalkers for the last 2 days, the FBI told me I'm not to file any more legal filings this month, which I stated in the live stream before anyone came to my door this week. So I also am speculating that a lot of this psychopathy is a desperate attempt to get another legal filing. Again, that's speculation. But again, I follow the FBI's instructions. And when I don't, it's little things that are risky, but only risky enough that I know I'll get chewed out. And I say, I'm not following this rule in the live stream when I'm not following the rule.
그 곡감을 남기셨는지 저기 증인으로 나온 박무신 중위에게 직접 말씀해 주시기 바랍니다.
왜 안 놈?
죄 없는 소녀와 의로운 동생을 살해한 그 죄값을 치르라는 그런 단순한 이유 때문이었습니까? 그 죄값을 치르라는
More individuals entering Unit 207 at 6:57 p.m. Perhaps that was the reason for all of the doors closing and the excitement from the females upstairs. Maybe they'll have another debrief session before they perpetrate some more stalking. Maybe they'll wait for a day. Maybe they'll wait for 2. I don't know. But remember, guys, if you missed it, what does the FBI said? They said, through Monday, extra psychopathic federal felons. Because why? Because some of the individuals they're excited to put in prison are fully aware of the new charges going on everyone's indictment on Monday.
박무신 중위에게 묻겠습니다. 증인은 이승에서 모래바람에 휩쓸려 목숨이 위태로웠던 순간을 기억할 것입니다. 그때 저승차사로서 저승의 율법까지 어겨가며 내가 왜 증인을 구해줬다고 생각하십니까?
또 다른 희생자를 얻기 위해서.
죄라 박무신! 내가 널 살려준 이유는 도로까지 가벼운 이 목숨이 아까워서가 아니라 살아있는 마지막 날까지 속죄와 참회를 하라고 시간을 준 것이다. 나처럼 되지 말라고 말이야. 현발장을 열어라. 한 번 더 이승의 증인을 겁박한다면 그땐 바로 경고 없이 기구를 저 현발장에 집어넣을 것이다. 이런 꿈이야. 이런 꿈이야.
대왕님, 이성교도소의 운동 시간이 끝나갑니다. 증인이 곧 깨어납니다. 빨리 내려보내셔야 합니다.
염라 대왕님께 마지막으로 묻겠습니다. 염라께서는 천년 전 공엄진에서 벌어진 여진족과의 전투에서 전사하신 저희 아버지 강문직 대장군을 기억하십니까?
기억대로 말해라. 기억하고 싶은 대로 얘기하지 말고. 이 아버지 강문직은
According to the FBI, there's evidentiary value right now regarding whoever entered Unit 207. Is it the Jersey Devil? Is she back asking you to tamper with and fuck with the live stream before this? With your volunteers who want to go to prison first on her behalf? 7 p.m. Latest debrief from the FBI. Evidentiary value regarding the idiot vagina that just walked into Unit 207. I think it's the Jersey Devil, guys. You know, one of the big ones the FBI is so excited to put into prison. They want to detain you, darling, at the Snohomish Superior Courthouse. Did you get the memo that you'll be getting an indictment out of there from your employer? The Attorney General has you on the naughty girl list.
그렇습니다.
She makes the best rockets, guys. Remember, I call her Kim Jae-ung. Same with her mini-me and her fellow child abusers, stalkers, thieves, and kidnappers.
제가 은폐했습니다.
Stubborn commitment. Stubborn commitment. Nerd Squad at 7:01 p.m. I'm going to click on the preceding live stream because it sounded like that idiot woman upstairs you're all so excited to throw in prison wants something to happen to this video. And I know you've got a copy of it, but I just want to make sure my copy is still reflecting intact as it was a moment ago. Oh, it is.
너는 왜 아버지를 구하지 않고 외면하여 하냐? 아니, 다시 묻겠다. 너는 왜 아버지를 구하지 않고 외면하여 살해하여?
Fast
Then
forwarding
it
to
has
the
North
end of
Everett
it.
Precinct Officers stalk me, banging on my doors, windows, yelling at me illegally to open the door. Hyphen.
항상 명심하거라.
Class A
내가
felony
항상
witness
저보다 뛰어났던 동생이
tampering
제 자리를 빼앗긴 것이
with
두려웠구나.
FBI informant.
Yeah, it's the Jersey Devil, dude. Bitch, you need to smile and wave.
항상 제
You're the reason you all haven't been detained yet because you keep dragging your heels and trying to get more people to join you in a penitentiary. You stupid child abusing cunt. No wonder so many people the FBI has talked to about you have all of the same things to say.
FBI instructions.
아버지님이 돌아가신 후였고 그렇게 너무
Obstruction.
년 동안
Tampering.
또 후회.
Felonies.
And lady, when you hear and see some of the recordings of the way you've spoken to sheriffs, you're going to feel dumb as fuck. Again,
waiting for UNIT
me and the
207 till
FBI
all that
believe
shit's
that
typing.
woman upstairs, she's going to blow her brains out before she's
Okay,
sentenced.
and it did.
The FBI and I
So,
both
Nerd
believe
Squad,
it.
I'm clicking save in the description at 5:40 p.m. for this video.
All right, Nerd Squad. Yeah, the whole video is there intact. I just clicked on it and fast forward to the end, and I heard me saying the end time for the live stream. 7:03 p.m. Smile and wave, darling. The FBI's latest brief was lots of evidentiary value. Also, where'd she go, guys? Did she just drive to the North Everett Precinct and hang out in there with some of the people who won't be officers anymore because of her for like an hour? She go to McDonald's and get some French fries? Did she go and abuse some disabled children? Did she go perpetrate a kidnapping? She start stalking another woman? Was she busy stealing from another woman? Was she writing fraudulent paperwork to commit crimes against her employer, the United States, DV victims and disabled children that she's abused and kidnapped? Where was she for the hour, huh? Just sitting in her car a block away, watching it on her cell phone? From my YouTube live stream, perhaps. Coward. You're a cowardly woman, and it's because of you so many people are going to prison. Believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, remember, she's not the mastermind. She's a swordfish. One of the worst, but not the worst.
살아있습니다. 미안하다, 수마. 내가 정말 미안하다. 미안하다. 조용히 신문을 마치겠습니다.
They're upstairs actively plotting about how they can terminate the live stream for the next attempt so they can break and enter. You dumb as fuck, Unit 207. You deserve to go exactly where you're going. I mean, seriously, the FBI is offering you 10 days to play pretend next month and you're still up there considering it. You're dumb as fuck. I mean, that's an understatement. At this point, though, I'm like, come on, hurry the fuck up, dude. As soon as I live stream your ass is being cuffed, I get to have fucking pizza. Literally. I'm going to high five sheriffs, federal marshals, FBI agents, and get pizza after your dumb asses are cuffed. Also, it's a good time for a prayer. Dear Godzilla, myself, the FBI, the Snohomish County Sheriffs, the federal marshals, and every individual that's blown the whistle, we all want to give thanks that we're not one of the jackasses you're sending to prison for the rest of their lives. We're glad that although our lives suck at moments, like right now, being surrounded by these scumbags, that we're not going to be living the rest of our lives in a cement cell where top ramen is a delicatessen and people drink booze that's made in the toilet. Amen.
빨리 호명 삼창하고 우리도 환생하러 가자.
That's going to be some hard-hitting humble pie, I might add, for you, Mrs. 80-plus years. When you're drinking booze made in a toilet.
We're all pros in this kitchen.
Box Thursday. It's the last audition. Did you feel rushed? Does it taste like it? Who will make the cut?
Do you know where the lighter is?
I'm your mentor, not your...
Oh my god.
Oh, and there's more doors opening and closing in the alley. And more excitement upstairs as they theorize how they can terminate the live stream that they haven't been able to terminate because the FBI isn't going to let them terminate it unless the FBI is going to be arresting them within 10 minutes of doing so again. There's no evidentiary value.
You must be new in town.
We use Tide Oxy Boost.
It's a lifesaver.
The most powerful clean in any universe. Tide.
Looking good. Thank you.
Well, at least it's
And on that note, one thing that makes me feel better about tonight's behavior is if I were Russ right now, I would be like, she's fucking telling me the truth, man. That's what I mean. There's no way that she knew. Because I said this earlier. If you watch the preceding live stream, after Russ went through my boy's window into my house, I literally sat here and said, I don't know, man. The FBI says they're going to be extra psychopathic. And I don't know what that means. Maybe they'll send someone else here to stalk me again tonight. And they fucking did, dude. Because you're dumb as fuck.
집행유예. 딱 현동이 초등학교 졸업식 때까지.
Oh, Russ. Russ gave me chocolate. That is so nice. Dude, I just looked in this bag.
우리에겐 말이야. 시간이
Aw, that is so sweet.
아직 시간이 많이 남아 있잖아.
And that's extra sweet when you're starving, dude.
좀 이상한 망자가 올라왔어.
You have no idea. I'm not really starving. There's a big difference between having to fucking eat lentils and applesauce and being starving. Let me make that clear. I understand that. But still, super nice. Now I'm trying to open up Google VoIP Nerd Squad because I did not look in this bag at all until just now. My cat was shoving his head in the bag. Unit 207 is trying to terminate the live stream using the VoIP.
또 귀인이야? 귀인이 풍년이네.
여기 무섭다고.
가자. 잠깐만. 잠깐. 내가 너희들한테 고백할 거 있어. 그게 내가 말이야. 1000년 전에
Okay, Nerd Squad, I just texted on the VoIP number to Russ the following. Oh, Russ, I just looked in the bag. You're too sweet. Thanks for the candy. Num num. Made me uber happy, especially after tonight's stalking terrorism.
아이, 바빠 죽겠는데. 지금 이 상황에
My cat was shoving his head in the bag.
괜히 풍년이란다.
And that is why I looked. That was really nice of him. And I am opening this up, man. Chocolate, buttercream, vanilla cream, nut caramel. That's what I want. Nut caramel. And just regular caramel. Strawberry cream and peanut cluster. And first up, nut caramel, dude. Nut caramel and caramel. Caramel is my jam. I like caramel more than chocolate. Yay! Russ is the shit. You all suck, except for the whistleblowers. The whistleblowers, you're exceptional. Dude, how you keep your composure up there while I'm running my mouth and saying everything you want to say? I'm sure I'm not saying everything you want to say, because if I was some of you, I would be like this. And you tried to send my ass to prison for you because you fucking are a criminal, you dumb fucking cunt. But I didn't say that.
내 1차는 붙었다고 말했죠.
8번 만에 1차 합격.
Yummy, nut caramel. This is good, dude. I don't even know what that is. Chocolate nougat and caramel? I don't know. It's delicious.
함께?
Thank you, Russ. Dude, if it wasn't for Russ, this situation would be so much worse. Now I'm at some nuts, dude. The nuts were way in the back. Yum. Which one is the plain caramel one? I like it when they give you the little picture on the back so there's no surprises. All right, plain caramel is the light brown chocolate with the dark brown stripes. Yes. Caramel nugget. Nut caramel is good. Plain caramel is going to be good too. I'm not even going to finish this one. One bite's good. Delicious, man. It's some delicious. That's some good shit. How about you? Caramel or chocolate? You only get one. Caramel all day for me, man. All day. Caramel apples. Caramel and coffee. Caramel and milk. Caramel. Nummy. Thank you, Russ.
다만 내 모습을 바꿔주시. 내 모습이 당신 모습
Google VoIP is weird. It says that Russ sent me a smiley face to one of my comments. Anyway, I just texted, you're the best. The chocolate made me 100% happier. Caramel and nut. Yummy. I'm putting away the chocolate. I saved half of that caramel one. I ate that whole caramel nut one. It was good. That did cheer me up. Chocolate. It plays tricks on the brain. It does make you happier. No, you're not insane. It's true, dude. The Aztecs knew this. That's why they used to eat cocoa. And also the cacao or whatever the fuck the cocaine is made out of. They also used to eat that shit too. I do not want to watch Korean Ghostbusters or whatever this shit is. Thank you, Tubi, for the Korean horror film. Action film. It is hella funny, though. I couldn't figure out, why does my cat keep shoving his head in the bag, dude? My cat is kind of dumb, like a North Everett Precinct Officer. In a lot of ways. Like, for instance, thinking that he likes chocolate. Sometimes. Thinking he's a human. Can't have anything orange around the cat without the cat trying to eat it. Even the orange pop. He will down orange pop. And according to Google, under no circumstances should a cat be trying to drink orange pop. He will shove his hand all the way into a glass of orange soda. He won't do it with grape. He won't do it with root beer. He won't do it with juice. Orange pop. Trying to log into my Spotify, which was blocked earlier because of UNIT207's hacking. Nerd Squad, it wanted me to like verify and log into the email address, which you know I can't do because of your instructions. Ah, they're letting me log in this time. Should I give thanks? No. Fuck you all. Whistleblowers excluded. Oh, yes. I was listening to JRE. This little chess player is adorable, this young boy. But I want something else. I want a different podcast. Did he have another episode today? Or no, this was his episode from today, I think. Maybe it was Thursdays. Oh, he had Philippe on. I like Philippe, guys, because I can't tell, like he said on Annie Letterman's podcast that his comedy, it was a persona. But I get the vibe that it's not really a persona at all. Like, it's just him. He talks too much about drug use and weird stories about his past, which suggest he was a drug user. Which makes me think it's not a persona at all. He used to be in big trouble.
Good to see you, my friend. It's been too
like
long.
10 or 20 years ago.
Fool? Good to see you too. When was the last time I saw you, brother? It was like 5 years ago or something.
5 years ago, and I did the show here when you were in LA.
Yeah,
at the warehouse.
Damn, that's what I miss most about the store. Is traveling dudes.
It is like a disease, I might add. I'm just going to reiterate that, guys. It's like a disease. It could have been like 5 people getting in trouble. Instead, the shit has spread around like a fucking disease.
They were just coming out at that bar or the patio.
Insanity.
Yeah, and you pass
and I
by
put my bag of marijuana in
that's
my little
Arsenio Hall.
That's the Boozler. OG right there.
Right,
you know what?
Right.
I used to see her at Dodger Stadium when I was working at Dodger Stadium, and I would ask her for advice. And she was just like, well, every comeback backstage, just keep writing.
She's a funny comic.
Yeah.
She was a funny comic. Who's that lady that was on Curb Your Enthusiasm? She's very funny, too. Old school comic. God damn it.
Stay away from my door. If you know what is
name.
good for you,
Just
you'll
not
stay
comedy
away
long
from my
Look that up.
fucking door.
Yeah,
if you
Susie
can't
Essman.
send the
Oh,
same
Susie
guy
Essman is stand-up?
that you
Yeah.
sent
Oh, she's
tonight,
great.
because
She's
his
really
job is
funny. I
bye-bye.
middled for her once.
Uh-huh.
Fucking
Yeah, okay.
1989 or some shit.
And make sure he brings the same ugly
Way back in the
lady.
day, my
Who
friend.
you middle for? That lady?
And if you took it there for stalk, let me
someplace on
say
Long Island.
the FBI is
Might have been
not
like
the one to
Governor
sit
or
around
something.
and be
I do not
played.
remember,
So
but I
ask
remember
this
she was very
question:
nice.
why do you
She was
feel
very
you
funny,
haven't been
very nice,
detained?
very encouraging.
Well, it's because you keep
Which is
having
the
felonies
best,
planned
man,
for
when
others
you
to
get work with somebody you
perpetrate.
see on television and you just like starting out and they're nice to you. That's so valuable.
I can't believe it. Like when I
There
want
she
to.
is. Susie S.
There she
Stay
is.
away from the
Whoa.
door.
She looks like Elaine from Seinfeld.
Yeah, similar.
But that's the haircut back then, huh?
Yeah.
Some of
Well,
you
they
are
all
like,
have.
we can't.
Everybody lost their
The
mind
Wicked
in the
Witch
80s.
of the
I
West
mean,
is
even-
our boss.
Yeah,
You don't
they all
have to
lost
be
their
a
mind
flying monkey for
back
the
then.
rest of your life.
'Cause, like, from
The
70s
flying
to
monkeys are
the 80s,
going to
nobody knew how to dress.
prison.
They did better
Their
than shit with
wings
their
will
hair.
be
She
clipped.
stood over her stand.
Come to the chocolate
Yeah, they would
factory
all
and
tease
join
their hair out.
us,
It was
the
crazy.
Oompa
It was like a big
Loompas,
hair thing.
under the direction
I
of the
think it
Willy
was
Wonka,
when people started doing
FBI
cocaine.
agent.
That's what I think. I think is the 80s was Miami
We got a
Vice,
waterfall made out of
cocaine, everybody
chocolate
lost
milk,
their
yo.
mind. They
Symbolically.
lost their fashion
Symbolically.
sense. People started wearing wacky clothes. Cars started looking like shit.
Dude, that's the
Yeah,
part
man,
that
that's
always got me
sob.
as a kid was the chocolate milk
Pinto.
waterfall.
Bro, cars
And I just
started
knew it
looking
was
like
good
shit.
chocolate milk,
I
not
mean,
school
if
chocolate
you
milk.
wanted
I don't
objective
drink that shit.
analysis of what happens to a
Nesquik chocolate
society
milk, man.
when they remove marijuana and mushrooms and then they bring in cocaine, it's like
Yeah, hey, you know what? It's called Ford Fiesta.
yeah.
Because we were Fiesta yesterday.
But cocaine brought us Sam Kinison
Yeah.
too, though. You have to realize cocaine's done some good.
You think he did a lot?
No.
No?
I think it's terrible for everybody who does it. But
It
I
is
do
terrible for
think
everybody who
that
does
there's
it, but it
moments
was
of
super,
inspired
super popular
creativity
amongst
from all
all the
kinds of
rich folks
substances.
and creatives
Especially
in the
that rock
70s
and roll
and
cocaine
80s.
that they used to get.
Like
Where it
all
was
of
like
them.
real,
People you wouldn't
pure
even
cocaine.
think.
It wasn't stepped on. Didn't have amphetamines and fentanyl in it. All kinds of other shit.
Good shit. Not the stuff you buy like at Grand Rapids,
And I
Iowa.
should say this is a person who's never tried cocaine.
Never?
Never
Don't
tried
be
cocaine.
lying.
No, I would not lie.
Never?
No, never. No, I got real lucky. When I was in high school, I had a buddy of mine and his cousin started selling it. And he was a great guy. And I watched this dude kind of like shrink into himself and lost a ton of weight. And him and his girlfriend they had this attic apartment and they would just hang out and do coke and sell coke. And they would just like watch TV and do coke. And it was like they got bit by a vampire, man. It scared the shit out of me.
That caramel
afraid
and
of
that
cocaine,
chocolate
man.
did it, dude.
Because
That
when I
was
started
super
stand-up,
satisfying. That
like
was
I started
500
stand-up like
times
in
better than fucking
94,
lentils with
93
stale
at an open
Fritos.
mic. And I was clean. I was sober. I was in rehab. And I wanted to be a comedian. So I went to a library to learn about writing, Jean Perret, comedy writing, step by step. Another book called How to Write Funny, Be Funny, and Make Money Being Funny. And that was a real great book, bro. I mean, it had comedy clubs locations in the back, and they had booker numbers like to submit your comedy.
Yeah, well, remember the Comedy USA Industry Guide?
$100.
Yeah.
Can you believe that shit?
Bro, I remember dudes used to take out full-page ads. That's how you knew they were killing it. When a dude would take out a full-page ad in the Comedy USA Industry Guide, I'm like, wow, he's got a full-page ad.
I remember, bro, when I was looking for gigs in 2000, right? And I remember this comedian named Shang and Dante, comedian Dante.
Yeah, I remember those guys.
Those guys had a list, like a 5-page list of comedy bookers' names, knack a number to call. And the back of the page was shitty bookers to avoid. And they used to sell it to the comics for like $75.
Wow. I got lucky that I was in Boston. And Boston had that was like
whoa, there's
boom
comments on
happened in
Spotify.
Boston
I've
when,
never
like,
seen this.
Stephen Wright got on the Tonight Show. Everybody found out about Boston, but it was already this like crazy. There's a great documentary called "When Stand Up Stood Out."
You had the guy on the show here.
Yeah, I've had a few of those guys on the show.
It was like a Chinese restaurant.
Yes, yeah. Don Gavin.
I think Joe Rogan looks so
guys,
good in a hoodie because you can still see his muscular
I still say to
arms,
this
but he
day,
looks snuggly.
They're some of the best comics I've ever seen in my life. I've seen them murder harder than anybody I've ever seen in my life, but it was just very regional, very local, and a lot of it didn't translate nationally for some reason. Like Steve Sweeney in Boston, in front of a Boston audience, is the funniest guy that's ever lived. And I'm not kidding. I'm not exaggerating.
He would get like Boston accents and Boston attitudes. It would be all a big part of his act. And dude, it was murderous. If you had to follow that, you were fucked. You were fucked, man. And they would do that to dudes from out of town. It was the most ruthless, cruel shit they would do at Nick's Comedy Stop. They would take these assassins, these local assassins, and stack them one after the other. It would be Kenny Rogerson, Don Gavin, Steve Sweeney, and then they throw up some headliner. And this poor headliner is used to soft acts on the road. He's used to being known for the guy who was on television. Hey, folks, so I'm Mike, the sitcom, and they try to do stand-up, and they were getting eaten alive.
He's talking about nuggets. The guys were up there all coked out.
Oh, yeah.
They were working the crowd.
They were wild boys, too. They were big, like, football player-sized, wild, crazy drinkers and partiers, and they were funny, man. And so because there was this, like, love of comedy in Boston, they had all these comedy nights all over the place where you could make a living. So you could be, like, a half-ass comedian like I was, and, you can make $500 a week. Just hustling, just moving around. That's what we all did. So there was so many places that you could work, and so many like little booking agents and like Western Massachusetts. You have to go out there, like there's these weird towns that are like liberal hideouts. You know what I mean? Like like Amherst. You'd get like Amherst gigs. It was weird. Like Amherst, Massachusetts.
The other place that you gotta be from there to pronounce it right.
Which one is that?
The one is that they use it for a steak sauce.
Oh, Worcester. Yeah. Yeah, it looks weird.
In 2010, I was doing last comic standing there, and I got to a day early, and I hung out with a Boston comic. I think his uncle is the guy they caught that was missing in action, the Irish gangster.
Oh,
David Bolger is the comedian. Yeah, and he was. I said, yeah, man, where are you performing? Worcester, sir. And then he took the joint. He goes, no, bro, in Worcester. Okay. Thank you for telling me, bro.
Yeah, you don't want to say, hey,
UNIT207 is actively trying to terminate the live stream, and they're excited about individuals that are in the alleyway or somewhere on the exterior western side of the property.
February, and by now, 80% of people have probably
at
abandoned
7:28 p.m. PST.
Make
sure you wave and smile to the FBI.
And all of a sudden, you don't have the time.
And why don't you actually do something so you can all go to prison early? Skip the 10-day grace period the FBI was going to give you all next month. And I can get some fucking pizza. That's where I'm at.
Multiple
You're dumb as fuck.
With just one scoop. You just mix it in
Come
cold water.
Here, terrorists.
And honestly, it tastes pretty
here,
good.
Child abusing, stalking, cowardly, fraudsters. Here, those of you volunteering to go to prison.
Makes it happen without added sugars or artificial sweeteners ever. AG1 is a great way to invest in your health.
Nerd Squad, I was making a gesture to the camera that you can't see at 7:29 p.m. because of the domestic terrorist upstairs, delaying the video by a minute to a minute 30.
With your first subscription at
Still can't see it.
It
lines up with when I was saying, here, little piggy piggies and
when you
whatnot.
go to drinkag1.com/Joe Rogan. Check it out.
I had his first comedy album, the one he did with Roaring or something.
Oh, the one we did with music in the background?
Yeah.
That was great. That's a great
There was
album.
a place like that, a Boston place, but not in a documentary, but Will Durst, he's a San Francisco comedian.
Sure.
He had a room like that called the Comedy Zoo or the Zoo.
Holy City Zoo,
Holy
right?
City Zoo.
Yeah.
And there's a comedian that came out of there that's a killer comic and he's still alive.
The FBI seems confident, though, that tonight's stalking and domestic terrorism was brought to us by some child abusers and kidnappers that still think they have a job and keep telling people they aren't what they absolutely are. Child abusers and kidnappers and stalkers.
In 1992, and then he did it again in 2006. So he has a record for doing Letterman between 30 years.
Wow.
But he's one of those comics that never left San Francisco.
There's a few of those guys.
And then
that
remember,
like that.
there's a variety of reasons why the FBI
really
loves the
good guys.
Lenovo
Remember that one guy
ThinkPad
in
13th
Chicago?
generation. One,
Fuck,
every
was
time you're
Larry-
fucking with it, they know
Larry Reed?
because it shows up as
Larry Reed?
Chrome operating
Larry Reed?
system and not
He
the
was a guy
actual
like that,
fucking
like
device.
A really solid national
Two, it's
act,
like a
but
tank.
so Chicago,
And three, they have
kinda stayed
nifty
around
little
there mostly.
devices you won't
Yeah, there's
ever
like
get
every
to
now
learn
and then
about
you find
because
towns
you'll
like
be in
that. You're like
prison
one
and no
murderer
longer
that lives in the
employed
town.
by the state
Marley
which
in
you
Utah.
tried to defraud
Yes, oh, it's me, Bob
while
Marley, the
committing
murderer of
an
Maine.
aggravated
They say
criminal
Robert Schimmel was
conspiracy
Arizona.
that
I
turned
love Robert
into a
Schimmel.
domestic
Yeah, he was the best.
terrorist
He was
organization.
such a good guy. But he was he lived in
You
Phoenix.
don't want to
It was
hear it,
somewhere in that area.
but
think it
it's
was Phoenix.
true.
But for
Wake the
him, it was
fuck
like
up.
it was easier to get around the country that way, and he didn't want to be a part of it. He was like one of the
When I
first guys
say
that
it's
was
like a
oh,
disease,
you
that's
can,
not a
like, be
compliment.
big-time comic and
That's
not have
like,
to leave your
my
state.
goodness, you
Like,
are
you get to a point where
literally
you could live in Oklahoma,
sacrificing
like Larry the Cable Guy
individuals
does,
left and
probably.
right.
Where does he live? He lives in like somewhere like Georgia or something like
I
that.
don't know. In the country.
Where does he live? Is that where he lives though? I don't want to.
A woman upstairs and a man upstairs are determined that they're going to
But
get
I
the
think
live stream
he's
to
definitely
terminate.
from
Never mind
there.
the fact they've been
I
unable
just
to do
don't know
that
if
for
he lives
days.
there. We probably shouldn't say where he lives.
Because
But
the
that dude
FBI
is,
is very
he
much
could be
in this
anywhere.
building.
It doesn't matter.
They're
Like,
also
you could
all
just
around
go anywhere.
I
Like
just
these
see his face when I
streets.
go to El Paso,
Their
Cobblestone,
perimeter swallows
and all
the
of
North
the
Everett
dudes they're talking
Precinct.
about, they were all there.
They have
Dude, I
access and
remember Josh
ways to
Wolf showed me a
trick all
picture
of
that he
you
took when he was on
that you
stage,
wouldn't even
and
know
they were
of
doing, it was like
because of
60,000
precincts
people.
exactly like yours,
So Larry
which
the Cable
keep them
Guy was doing like
gainfully employed.
60,000 people, and Josh Wolf's like got his camera and he's like moving around on stage. Like, that is the craziest fucking thing I've ever seen. That crowd is so insane. That's how big that guy got.
1,000 people, man.
And he was another dude that got hated on for no reason other than his success. It was like, for some reason, everybody couldn't believe that you could say offensive things as a joke in a character all of a sudden. And it coincidentally happened at the same time as him getting super huge. It's like, you guys are just fucking haters.
That's crazy how when they start hating the character.
They're still
not the
trying and
Well,
still
that's the
failing.
nice thing.
And the
Yeah, right?
reason
There's
they're
like the guy
failing
with they
is
said
because no
George.
evidentiary
Adam
value.
George, yeah.
I'll be honest
Ray
with you.
Giraudo.
In the event that the
Someone
FBI
opened
allows
for
you
him
to
back in the
terminate
day.
even one more
Back
live
in
stream,
Addison
I
Improv.
personally am
He
going to
told me that,
interpret it as you're
he will
going
say
to be
the
in handcuffs
nastiest
in less
shit, that
than
puppet.
15 minutes.
And this lady threw shit at the puppet, but not at Otto.
Bro, we were talking about it Tuesday night, Green Room. We were talking about how that puppet was kind of
And don't
possessed.
forget, everybody,
And
the
I'm not even
sheriffs
bullshitting.
know each
You know,
and every
Otto was
one of your
out
names
there.
and that you
Otto
are
was
in a
out there.
domestic
I mean,
terrorist
he was out there.
organization.
Everybody, I mean,
They
that
are
dude
100% working with their
partied. He went
partners,
hard, and he was
the
a
Federal Bureau
genius
of
comedian.
Investigation.
But he would get rides to gigs and say, pull over, I got to check on George. And he would, in the fucking side of the highway, he would pull over, pop the trunk, and check on the dummy.
Wow, his buddy.
Weird, man.
Weird, man.
Weird. Someone,
Whoa, there he is.
bro, someone stabbed that dummy once
Yeah.
at Dangerfields. Some Puerto Rican guy who said the dummy was saying Puerto Rican jokes to this guy. And the guy fucking stabbed the dummy. Stabbed the dummy.
Was it a knife or a sharp bed
fucking
spring?
knife.
Or a sharp bed spring, bro.
Something, anything. Whatever you got that you polished down to a point.
You ever watched the Fabulous Miss Maisel?
What that?
The Fabulous Miss Maisel is about a female comic growing up in the 50s on Amazon.
No. Oh, Fabulous Mrs. Maisel.
Mrs. Maisel. Oh, she's Mrs. All right.
I
made her
thought you were
single.
saying something in Spanish. That's hilarious.
You ever seen Mousy Maciol?
That's hilarious. I literally thought you were talking
remember
about a completely different show.
Do you remember the ventriloquist that did like a 1 minute set on her show?
Yeah. Well, so like ventriloquist now, it's like, it's one of those things like with Carrot Top, he's like so successful at props that no one does props anymore. But when we first started out, everybody did props. There was like 10 guys on a lineup of 20 guys that have props they bring with them on stage. Because sometimes it was really funny.
Rusty Dooley.
Yeah, Rusty Dooley was great at it. But it's like he owned that for whatever reason. Because Carrot Top got so big using props, he's the only guy that still does it, that he kind of owns that. And then with Jeff Dunham, he got so big at being a ventriloquist that, like, there's no ventriloquist anymore. Like, when we were kids, there was always comedy ventriloquists. There was, like, Willie Tyler and Lester.
Yes.
Remember? It was a fun thing. You could get the dummy to say fucked up shit, and then you go, I can't believe you could say that in front of these nice people. And then George would be like, fuck these people. He would tell everybody to suck his cock. It was crazy.
What's another one? Woody in the Hood.
Yeah. But with Otto and George, it was a little different, man. Because I think Otto believed that George was alive. I think Otto believed there was something about George that was different than him. Like, he was not Otto and George. He was just Otto. And George only existed when George was there. And it seemed like there was something going on with that. And it might be because he fucking fried his brain to the point where he was connecting with, you know, all kinds of energy that wasn't even there. You know, he might have been out. He was out there. But the combination
together.
What if they smoke crack together? Yeah, he probably made George smoke it. Yeah. There's famous Otto crack stories. That guy was gone, but he was also brilliant. Really funny, man. Fucking funny. And in a comic, like, we would all sit in the back of the room to watch when he was on stage. But so there's a lot of those guys that are like real genius, but they're real eccentric. And for whatever reason, the general public doesn't find out about them. There's not like a good vehicle, at least back then there wasn't, for them to get out to the general public. Like today, I would say an example of that is like Brian Holtzman.
Yes.
Right? Like Brian Holtzman, we've known forever. He's always been a guy we all watched. He was always the guy that at the end of the night, especially if something fucked up happened, like there was a plane crash, or if like someone got eaten by a lion.
That's funny you mentioned a plane crash, because I was there when they did that joke. I was in the back of the comedy store. He said, American Airlines is hiring. And then he said, and because I remember who survived that airline, and he said, fuck that. Everybody says, how come they don't build a plane out of the black box or sleeping next to the black box? Sleeping next to a fucking baby. Baby survived. Let me hold that baby, bitch.
A baby survived?
Yeah, baby survived an airline at the flight one time, and he said, I want to hold that baby. I want to hold somebody's baby in an airplane, just in case it goes down. Because if a baby survives, I'm going to survive.
You have to see him say it. I don't think we're doing it justice.
No, I'm fucking it all up.
My favorite one was when Susan Smith got arrested for drowning her kids. He goes, I heard those were bad kids. I heard they sat that close to the TV. They didn't put away their blocks. Those kids will not be missed. The fun thing about Brian is if you know him, like in real life, he's like the sweetest guy on earth. Mm-hmm. He's such a sweetheart of a guy, like super friendly to everybody, loves everybody. Like he doesn't even have an enemy. Like Brian Holtzman has no enemies. He's always sweet and friendly. And then he gets on stage and it's like he becomes like his version of George.
Yeah. I hung out with Brian Holtzman. I hung out with Brian Holtzman and his mom in San Antonio, Texas.
Oh, wow.
Because we were doing the Latino Laugh Festival.
Oh, wow.
And he was the only non-Latino on the show, him and Darren Carter. And, bro, there was all Latinos, bro. Everybody was getting shit. Johnny Sanchez, that was his name. Stalker.
How did they say it?
I don't know. He said, my name is Johnny Sanchez. And then somebody said, no, it's Sanchez with 5 A's. Sanchez.
Oh.
So he heckled. So,
he got heckled for saying his name in a non-Mexican way?
Yes. And then Brian Holtzman goes up there.
Bro, it's rough out in those streets.
Yeah. And Brian Holtzman goes up there. He said, he goes, this is not a comedy show. Close all the doors. He goes, Border Patrol's going to come in here and take care of everybody. Bro, but this is after we were doing this taping. Mencia shows up to the guest spot on our taping and goes long, really long, like Jeff Valdez looking around. So then that's when Barry Holtzman goes up and murders it. He goes, man, I got to figure out how to this immigration problem, man. We got a bunch of U-Haul trucks. We go around to every Home Depot. We got these people. Yeah, we're hiring, bro. There's lots of jobs. Muchos trabajos. Come on. Get in the trucks. We fucking take these trucks. We drop them off in Tijuana, Mexico.
Yeah. You have to see him say it.
He starts screaming and shit.
But it's also like he's playing this bizarre, psychotic character. that only comes out when he's on stage. He's the most different when he's on stage.
And he held his job too when he had a job.
Oh, bro, he always had a job. That was the problem.
Guy.
That was the problem. He never hit the road. He stuck around the store because, like I was saying, there's not like a path for those guys. Like nobody wanted Brian Holtzman to open for them. That's too weird.
No.
You know?
He
belonged at the store, and now he's found a crowd at the mothership.
Mm-hmm.
His shows at the mothership, they're all sold out. Like he's hilarious. People come to see him, and he didn't have a path before. It was like there was like, you know, he's too weird to put on a television show. It's like you really want to be in the room. That's what it is.
Yeah.
This like if anybody is way funnier in the room, it's Brian Holtzman. The discomfort, the weirdness, and the way he works around it when you're in the room is so fun.
And every show's different.
Every show's different. And he's always talking about new things. He's like, it's really like he channels this fucking character. It's like he should be two different people. He should be Brian Holtzman, the super nice guy, and then whatever the fuck his name is when he's on stage. It's almost like he needs a second name. Mitzi should have done that a long time ago. Mitzi used to call Joey Fat Baby. Do you remember those days?
Yeah.
someone has one of the lineups.
Joey Diaz
that
is
they got
Fat
from
Baby.
Jeff
That's
Scott
cute,
and,
dude.
on the lineup.
I use the term Big Baby
everybody's
when I'm
name,
referring
and then,
to Big
15
Baby,
minutes, and it
like
says
from
Fat
Toy
Baby.
Story 3.
Fat Baby. She wanted
Or
him
Toy
to be
Story
called
4.
Fat Baby.
Toy Story 3. Yeah, Toy Story 3. Big
Weird
Baby.
advice sometimes.
Big
man,
Baby
the
is the Big
managers
Baby
give you
from Toy
Terrible
Story 3.
advice. Can't listen to anyone.
Sometimes he turns
I know,
bad,
but
but that's
good
only
advice.
because
I
he
was
has a
bummed
boss
out one
that
time
got
because you only have
dumped,
to
and he
go
didn't
back
get
and
dumped,
forth,
but
back
he
and
doesn't
forth.
know, and he's Big
So they
Baby.
make you a regular. And I was trying at the Laugh Factory.
There's one upstairs.
And
There's
time
one
James
individual
Sala, he
upstairs
told
that
me,
I call
don't see
Big
you making
Baby,
it, man.
who may or may
For
not be a
another 6 to
whistleblower.
8 years.
Not
Oh
authorized to
boy.
state.
And then when I finally got last cover standing, I looked at him and I said, Jamie, your advice was full of shit. It took fucking 12. It took 12, not 6. But I was bummed out when he told me that. I was like bummed out. You know, you get bummed out, like you realize
I also call my
putting
eldest
all
Big
this work
Baby.
in, and like, you know, you can't be a regular here. So you got to go back to these other rooms. I talked to Brad Williams, and he said, fuck that advice, bro. You know what he told me? He told me that I should get all the little people I can find in Hollywood. All of them, all the little midgets, all the little persons, and bring them to the Laugh Factory. And Jamie said, you can have the biggest little person show in all of Hollywood.
Dude, that would be cool.
That was
though.
his
I'd
advice
pay to
for
see
Brad.
that. Is that
So then I thought, I was not
discriminatory
feeling
though,
so
paying
bad
to go to a
after
little
that.
people
Then I
performance?
talked to Alonzo Bowden, and he told Alonzo Bowden that
Or is it
he should put on
inclusive?
shoulder pads
I feel like it could be
and be
one
a
or the
football
other.
comic. So, Joe, after hearing that, I didn't want to cry anymore.
Oh my God. He had some terrible advice. I think he was
Joe
giving
looks
advice.
so
I think he was
cute,
giving his
snuggly.
advice to Todd
Not
Parker,
hoodie.
who was telling him, it was either Todd Parker or Robbie Prince, two guys that I knew from Boston. One of them, he was telling him, I think it's Todd, you've got to be Generation X guy. This is what you're going to be, buddy. You're going to be Generation X guy. So from Generation X, this is how I see the world, buddy. Like, everything was as a Generation X guy. Like, and he was like, that's the worst advice I've ever heard in my life. Like, why would I do that? But people would have, like, schemes for you. But the thing is, they're just trying to help. Yeah, but no one knows how to do it other than you, and you got to figure it out.
Yeah,
No one can tell you.
Yeah, they're like outdated too.
Like, who would have told Mitch Hedberg, wear sunglasses and sometimes turn your back to the crowd?
No one.
No one. Mitch Hedberg would be killing with his back to the crowd, high on heroin. All non sequiturs for like an hour and a half.
They have stage fright?
He was just crazy. You know,
You worked with him? You met him?
I met him. I didn't know him well, but I knew him enough that it was a bummer when he died. I remember I was with Stanhope. We were filming something, and we found out that he had gangrene. He got admitted to a hospital. He had gangrene. You're like,
Oh, man,
gangrene
he had
fucking kills
gangrene?
people. Like, this is fucking scary.
From being a needle
And,
user? How do you get
He
gangrene if
just
you're
had a
not in the Vietnam
problem.
War?
He just liked that heroin, and he didn't want to stop. Like, people wanted to clean him up. He did not want to get cleaned up. It's like, I am not interested.
I think I ordered one time, but I didn't show it up. I just smoked it, but I was in Amsterdam.
Dude, it doesn't seem
Dude,
like
I'm adding that.
anybody has
Places
a great
I'm
old time
going
with the rest of their life
once
they
I'm
start
paid
doing
in full
heroin.
and my kids are
It's
spending
like
some
cocaine.
time with
It's the
someone
same
else,
thing. It's
maybe
like,
Grandma and
I
Grandpa
think there's
Garcia for a
probably
week in the
moments
summer.
of
I'm going
brilliance
on
that
an
have come out of
adult
heroin,
only,
though. I
girl
definitely
only,
do, and I think
me only trip to
1960s
Amsterdam,
music.
dude, and I am
I
indulging.
think heroin and LSD affected a lot of
And I
rock
am
and
indulging
roll
on
in the
airplane mode.
1960s. And cannabis
Yes.
for sure too, and probably mushrooms. But you know, the thing
There
that
will be no
it
pictures,
always kills
no
you.
social
Like
media
everybody
posts,
always,
just
it
me
always
enjoying
ruins
Amsterdam.
everything. They all died young. Everybody like what Morrison 27, Hendrix 27.
In every way.
Although there is a wild conspiracy about Hendrix.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's your
that he was killed by his manager. The conspiracy. There was one of his bodyguards, right? Is that what it was, Jamie? That wrote this book.
How did he die?
I think he died of his asphyxiation from throwing up, you know, which is one thing that can happen to people that are doing drugs. But the bodyguard, I believe this, don't hold me to this, but I believe the story was Hendrix was going to leave his manager. His manager was mobbed up. His manager was like a scary guy. And his manager was making a lot of money with Hendrix. Hendrix was trying to leave. And he's got the rights to the Hendrix catalog, and he kills Hendrix. So his former roadie. So the thing that's compelling about this is shortly after this, his girlfriend committed suicide, air quotes, by being thrown off a roof. So they got rid of Hendrix and they got rid of his girlfriend, if that's what really happened. So he was the benefactor, allegedly, of the guitarist's $2 million life insurance policy. $2 million. Okay, worth around $1.2 million in 1970. According to Wright, Jeffrey told him about the crime in 1971, a year after the 27-year-old Hendrix was found dead in a London hotel. He said, "I had to do it, Tappy." Wright claims the manager said, "You understand, don't you? I had to do it. You know damn well what I'm talking about." We went round to his hotel room, got a handful of pills, stuffed them into his mouth, then poured a few bottles of red wine deep into his windpipe. Hendrix was found dead at the Samarkand Hotel on 18th of September 1970.
Nerd Squad, I'm not opening anything, but I'm going to Gmail just to make sure that the typical pattern of criminality occurred, and I have a rejected police report right before it was superseded by more felony stalking and witness intimidation and whatnot.
So much of my life,
waiting for
face
UNIT207
pale,
to allow the
glass in
interface on
sudden
Gmail
rage.
to function.
Hendrix' manager died in a plane crash in 73. So this guy's dead. That supposedly did this.
Still waiting,
man,
Nerd
they
Squad, at
did that
7:48.
back then. They were gangsters. There was gangsters running everything. If there was a lot of money to be made,
Yep. Rejected, Nerd Squad. Ooh, early too. 9:39
Yeah, man,
a.m.
gangsters own a lot of stuff that a lot of people wouldn't want to own, like a gay club.
Yeah.
Like in LA, they own all the gay clubs. They were not raided because they were paid.
This episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. People like to throw around all these red flags, you know, things someone says or does that you don't like, which is fine.
And Nerd Squad,
But
you
instead
are
of
also
focusing on the
right. I
negative
have
all the
those
time,
emails from
why don't
YouTube.
we focus on the positive?
I
If
have
you're
those
looking for a
emails from
romantic partner,
YouTube.
think about what traits you like to see in a person. If you like to work out and stay in shape, you might want to find someone who's also health conscious. Or if you like to travel, you probably want
Nerd
to find
Squad, on
someone
the
who's
web
just
browser,
as
they have gotten
adventurous.
rid of my bookmarks,
Once you're
which
in a
previously
relationship,
they had
it's a whole
appearing
different
even
ballgame,
on
and
the
things
window
aren't
that isn't
always going to be
incognito,
perfect.
even
But
though
that's
email
what
address
therapy
has
is
been
for.
logged into
Therapy
on
is an
there
excellent
per
way
your
to work through any
instructions.
problems, even the small ones. Like, say you and a loved one have been fighting a lot lately, but you still really want to make things work. Therapy can serve as a mediator. It can help you identify the problem and teach you positive ways to address it. If you're new to therapy or want to try something different, BetterHelp is a great place to start. It's convenient and affordable.
I'm a Scorpio, so you know I'm feeling sexual. Flower by Liz Fair. Yeah, I dedicate this to people that know that I'm dedicating it to them. Note though, them, plural. I heave a sigh. I think of things unpure, unchaste. I'll take you home and make you like it. Kind of like you're underwater. Your lips are perfect, suck me size. You act like you're 14 years old. Everything you say is so obnoxious, funny, lewd in me. I want to be your blowjob queen. Ramming, jamming, slamming in me. I'll fuck you till your dick is blue. Wasn't that a good one? Map of Tasmania, Amanda Palmer. And on that note, everybody who knows me knows I'm a recovering nymphomaniac whose year's clean. And the only reason why that was made possible is because I switched to food. I substituted one addiction for another. And I've been being starved. And the result of that is you're all going to prison. And also, I'm very anxious for you all to go to prison so that I'm no longer illegally detained. And I can eat or I can fuck in, which is what is likely to occur at this point in time. Let's be real. That's where I'm at. What is this ridiculousness? What kind of things is the FCC doing? You have to like verify your age in order to watch a music video that shows pubic hair? That's all that's even in this video. No, you don't. Why was it blurred? Oh my God.
They don't play the song on the radio. They don't play the song on the radio. They don't play the song on the radio. They don't show that it's on the radio. They don't know that we are the media. They don't know that we start the media. I don't want to see what I'm making you. I see something steamed and I'm shaking you. Walking down the street, I'm the lady.
Showing off my map of Tasmania. I'm so glad I have a vagina too. Let's just get that out there, guys. I love men. I am a man on the inside in every way. I apply my makeup in 20 minutes and look better than most people's wives. Real talk. But that being said, I give thanks every day to God that I have tits and ass and a vagina. If it gets too bushy, you can trim.
They don't play the song on the radio. They don't show that it's on the radio. They don't know that we are the media. They don't know that we start the media. I don't want to see what I'm making you. I see something steamed and I'm shaking you. Walking down the street, I'm the lady.
Showing off my map of Tasmania.
They don't play the song song on the radio. They don't show that it's on the radio. They don't know that we are the video. They don't know that we start the video. I don't want to see what I'm making you. I see some big feet and I'm taking you. Walking down the street, I'm the lady. Showing us my number, test video. Showing us my number, test video. Showing us my number, test video.
Showing off my map of Tasmania.
Showing us my number, test video.
Dialed the 7 digits, said, yo, this Marquis baby, are you down with it? What do I mean by I'm a man on the inside, guys? I mean that I'm a 70-year-old on the inside who would kick your ass. Me so horny. Me so horny. Me so horny. UNIT207, turn off your mic so I can use Google Voice. You dumb fucks. Okay. Are your mics off? Me so horny. Yeah, you knew what it was before you started stalking me, fools. Round, round, get around, I get around.
Translate entire websites in a click.
Me love you long time. Arrived at her pad, and I was so glad to see her dad. Also, that's been an ongoing problem all my life, just to be clear, guys. I've been hitting on my friend's dad since I was in 8th grade. For a freak to call. Yo, this Mystic baby, are you down with it?
Knocked on the door, not having no idea of what the night had in store. I'm like a dog in heat, a freak without warning.
I have an appetite for sex, cause me so horny. You can bring me champagne, reefer, pizza, and porn. I appreciate all 4 items. What's wrong, baby girl, with a quick nut?
Cause my nature is rising and you shouldn't be mad. I won't tell your mama if you don't tell your dad. I know you'll be disgusted when he sees your clothes all messed up. Roll your mama be so mad if she knew you just been had. I'm a freaking eat, a dog without warning. My appetite is love, cause me so haunted.
Me love you long time. Oh yeah, what's $10 get me? Anything you want.
You can say I'm desperate, even call me perverted, but you say I'm a dog.
When I leave you fucking deserted,
I'll play with your heart.
just like it's a game.
I'll be blowing your mind, cause you're late to the game. I'm just like that man they call Georgie Pudding Pie.
I fuck all the guys and I make them cry.
I'm like the dog in heat, a freak without warning.
I have an appetite for sex, cause me so horny. Me love you long time. Suck it to me, oh, suck it to me, oh, suck it to me.
What's your matter?
Me love you long time.
It's true, you were
going out, never to the movies, just straight to my house. You like it like I do. I'm not into this edit, dude. He was supposed to say, and lick my asshole too. Oh, me so horny. Me love you long time. How'd that song make you guys feel? It's a good one, right? Back to Joe Rogan. It's a fun little music break. The domestic terrorists are back to being terrorists.
Portable since everything is done online.
The undercover FBI agents are back to being fly. The informants are back to being hot and pretending to be dumb.
Discover your relationship.
And those
green
requesting
flags
to go to
with
prison,
BetterHelp.
they're
Visit BetterHelp.com/JRE to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp.
They're optimistic.
HELP.com/JRE. But if you want to talk about something like that, like would a manager kill a client for electric?
all the real ones
back
are like,
then?
well, in
Yeah.
40 days
I
it'll
would
be
do
over.
that
And she'll be
back
right.
then, man.
I read this, right? It's like crazy, right? My mom didn't like Elvis. She liked the Beatles, right? And I asked my mom, how come you don't like fucking Elvis? He's badass too. Oh, because Elvis said that I'd rather have kids a dog than a Mexican woman. And I said, when did he say that? And he goes, he said it. Then I found out later on when I went in a rabbit hole, it was a colonel. The colonel spread that.
The colonel spread that.
Because he wanted to keep him in America and not tour like anywhere.
The colonel was an evil dude, man.
Yeah.
That by the way, that Tom Hanks performance is fucking fantastic. In that Elvis movie where he plays the colonel,
I want to see
when
that.
you see it,
I
like
still haven't seen that.
you appreciate how a guy can really like become a different person.
I
Like,
love Tom
he
Hanks.
becomes
He's
this
always
creepy
good. His
manager guy,
stuff
this
from the 80s is the
manipulative,
shit, dude. I
gambling,
love the
creepy
Burbs.
manager guy. I mean,
It's in my top 10
genius,
best
man.
movies.
It's so good. Like you that's what's crazy. Like you forget that's Tom Hanks. You're like, oh, but you really got a sense of the relationship that Elvis had with this dude. Because those guys that get
He's
crazy,
also like probably one
there's
of the only
famous,
celebrities I
and
haven't
then
met
there's
that there's a
Elvis
chance that I
famous
would
in the
actually act like a fan
1960s,
around.
and you
Because I
don't
feel
even
like I'd be like,
understand what that
Tom,
means.
I've never met
no one
you.
understands what that
I'm a
means.
huge
and
fucking
he was
fan.
the first one to be like that.
Give me a
Imagine
hug.
that.
Can I have a
Imagine
picture?
walking into a room
That's a
and just go,
fangirl.
you want to kiss? And they kiss.
Just imagine just trying to navigate life as a human being, and you're literally the most desired person to be around alive. Like you can't walk down the street.
And if I knew
People
I was
scream
going
and
to
they
be
cheer,
seeing
they
Tom,
run at
I
you,
would bring my
women faint,
VHS
they
copy
cry,
of Burbs and a
there's never
Sharpie
been
and be
someone
like,
that
you
before.
must
That's what's crazy,
autograph
'cause this is
this.
the first time
And
you
then I
see
would
a guy
never
on
sell it.
television,
No.
and he's on television shaking his hips, and so they go crazy.
We know some of the same
No one's ever
people,
done that, huh?
but I've never met
No.
Tom Hanks.
No, you never had a pop star on TV shaking his hips like he's fucking. Yeah, it was too much.
Did they cover it up the first time?
I think
on the television
they
show?
did something where they were upset at him because they didn't know he was going to do it. I think he was actually going to get fined in some places. Like you weren't
Anyway,
allowed to
Unit
shake your hips
207,
like
you
that.
could do
Like,
something
this is how
productive. Like bring me a
crazy
pizza
being Elvis was.
Badass. There's this
and
one
put it outside
video
of my
or
boy's
picture of
bedroom
Elvis
window.
that I like, besides the one
and
you
then
have
maybe
here,
stand out
with
there
the
creepy
arrested.
months and see how long
When
it takes for
he's,
me to retrieve it.
He's playing outside, an outside event, and he's wearing all black.
That would be
He's
a
fucking
productive
young
thing
as
you
hell,
could do.
and the pompadours
We've
are
baited
good,
her
blue
with
as a
little
Chinese,
Caesars
like,
with
bro.
breadsticks.
And
We're
about
on this
18.
shit.
And there was no
It's
Elvis
outside
before
the boys'
Elvis. That's
windows.
what's
We are
crazy. So he's
standing
like
and
this
leaning
one
over the
guy
fence, hoping
that
she'll look
becomes
at
way
us.
famous than
But
any
then, you know, the
entertainer
reality
ever.
would be I'd bring the camera out there for the live
And then he's
stream,
got a
wearing
new
my
manager. And then he's doing
Barack
pills.
Obama
And then
mask.
he's living in
And I would grab
paranoia,
that pizza
the
and give you a
whole world
thumb up
don't
and
make
bring it
any
inside
sense.
and gobble
Nothing
it
makes
up.
any
That's
sense.
what would really
You can't
happen,
make
so
any
maybe
sense.
not.
You have no peers. You have no one around you that's like you. No one
But
around
that
you
would have
that
been
can
a way
understand
better
you.
attempt to
And
get in my
you're
house.
being protected
So
by some
would
guy
you not
who's,
have
like,
been
siphoning
psychopaths for
money
2
from you.
years?
He was doing
So
shit
would
little
not
gigs,
abusing
right?
my
Like, he'll
sons.
do like a 2-hour show, then leave, go do another 2-hour show somewhere
Literally
else.
to
Like once
indoctrinate
he got
them
into a financial bind, right?
and to
Wasn't
kidnap
that a part of the
them
movie? And then he got that Vegas
and to
residency.
cause them to regress and escalate.
Bro, the Vegas residency
And what's
probably
strange about
convenient
this is
because
I
you
am
don't have to
sexist
go
enough to
anywhere.
have thought
You
that
know
every
where you
woman
live,
upstairs
you know
would
where the gig
acknowledge
is. Like
this.
Carrot Top
But
seems
the
to like
FBI
it.
has stated that
I
there
don't
is
think
one
that can
woman,
do that.
Bro, if you're
only
positioned,
one,
though, like
and
I
there
would
is
be great.
many
Oh yeah.
men
But even like comics can do it. A lot of comics do it.
who acknowledge
You
it.
know, I just don't know.
And the FBI didn't
about
need
living
anyone
in
to
Vegas.
acknowledge it. They already
I
had all
wouldn't
the
mind being in
evidence.
the same place 7 days a week, 14 shows.
The people that live outside of Vegas love it though. If you live like in like Henderson or
That's
some of those
also part
places,
of the
like,
reason
they're
why this
very,
last week
very
I've been
nice
saying
places.
such awful
But
things
still, you're
directed
still
at women.
connected to this place where people go to get psychotic. Like, you know,
That, and
there's
again,
some
Miss 80
weird
plus
energy
years is the
about
reason
that.
why all of
Listen,
this has
is not a
happened.
knock on
And what's a
Vegas.
shame
I love Vegas.
is
Look, I love New York
before
City.
she was
Ari fucking
facing
loves living in New York City. I can't live in New York City. I can't handle
80
all that.
years before
I gotta
her
get the fuck
first
away.
court appearance
Some
in
people love it.
August,
You can do everybody can
according to
love
the
everything, but it just
FBI,
seems like
she really adored me and
that-
wanted to
it's
be
like
my
Vegas is a
friend. I'll
uniquely
never be your friend,
crazy
lady.
place. People go
Not
there
ever.
specifically like, we're gonna go to
I'll forgive you.
Vegas. And like it's
That's
in
the
the
best you'll
title
get.
of the state.
And I'm not
means
going to forgive
craziness.
you
I
You
know,
went to
until
man.
you
Vegas.
ask
Every
for it.
every day, probably like 50,000 people show up.
It's every day. And then you got rodeos coming into town and UFC fights coming into town and fucking concerts.
Raider fans.
It's a fucking wild ass town. I love being there. I just don't know if I could live there. It seems like it's almost a little too crazy. So this is Ed Sullivan Show, 1956.
This is the only time. This is the first time his hips show up on the screen. It's 10 minutes into this.
Yeah, he was wiggling his dick too
That's
much.
all he was doing, though.
That's a lot, Jamie. What do you mean? That's all he was doing. That's offensive.
After this aired, they said they wouldn't air him from the waist down anymore.
Isn't that crazy?
But they obviously like, it's barely shown. It's so crazy,
bro. He probably had it. Look, his big old dick keeps slapping at his jacket. That's what it is. Look, if you see that side, back it up a little bit. That's what the problem is, Jamie. Look at that jacket popping up and down from his big old Elvis dick. Look at it.
He's hitting a symbol with it.
Bro, he's making his jacket pop with his dick. I'm with the censors. I'm with the censors. Of course he had a big dick.
Yeah.
He had everything. He had everything. He had voice, talent, beautiful. You think he's going to have a little dick?
Hell no,
all those gifts?
How tall is he?
I don't know. He's probably at least 6 feet tall.
Joe is so right. Elvis
What?
definitely had a big dick.
How can you manage that? How can you navigate that at 21 years old? It's him.
No, man.
Bro, it's him and Michael Jackson. These are the two case studies and people that got too famous.
Elvis is great because he got so famous that he
much
literally
success at that
told
early
the
age.
federal government
Bro,
that
you
they
wouldn't-
needed to
I know, right?
make him an honorary agent, and they were like, "Yes,
You would
Elvis,
go
right away,
crazy.
Elvis."
How about you?
That's why Elvis is great.
Crazy.
I would have been sitting with a big fucking cold sore.
Yeah,
Can you
'cause I got
imagine being
lucky.
that big?
My fame ascent
And it
was a
working
slow
just
drip,
by you being that
you
vain.
know, like over time.
I also
bro,
like
a
Fat
slow
Elvis, dude.
drip.
Mine
Fat
was
Elvis
like that
singing
little
Fever
mountain
in
guy
his
on,
white leather suit.
On The Price is Right.
He's still hot.
And then stopping along the way. Bunch of haters. Fighting with other comics. Coke here.
Yeah.
Hang around at El Compadre's too long with Joey Diaz.
El Compadre spot. 64 years ago today, more than 60 million people watched Elvis Presley perform on the Ed Sullivan Show. Oh, wow. 60 million. That's so crazy. But that's how it used to be, man. And that's why losing control of that is so devastating to mainstream media. That was what it was. When I was a kid, there was 3 channels, dude. There was NBC, ABC, and CBS, and that was it. And then all of a sudden there was Fox, and we were crazy. We got a whole nother
Yeah,
channel.
dude, when I was a kid, there was
Yeah, we
PBS,
definitely did. Especially
Nickelodeon. I
we all
only
had-
ever saw
everyone has local
Babysitters,
channels. So you
HBO,
always had, like,
Discovery
the
Channel,
local
which
NBC
actually
network,
played
which
animal
had, like,
shows.
Somebody got pick
Yeah.
karate movies.
Yeah, we didn't even
That's
have
really
cable.
all that I
Like, it
remember.
didn't exist.
I only
We
remember
had,
like
but you have to realize
4
how nuts
TV
the world
channels.
was.
VHS
everything you
or not
watched on
VHS,
television was
VH1,
just
whatever
television.
channel played
That's
music
all you ever
videos that
saw.
wasn't MTV. We
Like,
had
there's
that.
no cable, so you have 4 channels. If you're and you felt so lucky
Back in
to
the
have that
80s
4th
is what I'm
channel.
talking
You
about.
got The
Crazy,
Simpsons, Married with Children came on that channel. Fox changed the whole In Living Color,
Yeah.
changed the whole like feeling
It was different
of what a
back then.
channel was. It's crazy that Fox is now connected to like conservatives. Was Married with Children. It was, it was like the Renegade shows. It was The Simpsons. It was, there was a bunch of like fun shows that were on Fox.
shows, man. Living Single.
Yeah, but In Living Color.
Okay, so I gotta say that today Russ got me an ounce of marijuana. Again, for those of you that don't know, I smoke the cheapest marijuana there is. People who smoke pot think that I smoke like garbage weed. They'll talk it down. Some of them won't even smoke this kind of weed. Why? Because it's the kind of weed that old hippies would smoke, okay? So I got Panama Red, a strain I've never smoked before, but that I've heard lots of hippies talk about. And here's my review of it. First off, I'm in Washington State. This is taxed. An ounce of marijuana, low-grade marijuana, that's what it's considered. It's 17.2%, but it affects me well, dude, well. And I've smoked high grade. I've smoked joints that were over $200 for a single joint, which is just fucking stupid as fuck, I might add. Anyway, here's my thoughts on this marijuana. I can totally see why it was like the hippie pot strain that was the most popular in the 60s, because it doesn't make you sleepy. It doesn't make you hungry. It makes you want to do arts and crafts and to philosophize. To have monologues, to rant. This would be excellent for Bill Burr. If he's smoking weed these days, you need some of this, Bill Burr. Anyway, Tim Dillon, you want some of this, Tim Dillon. Panama Red, that's the strain. Anyway, just thought I'd share that because if there's any of you that are as old as me, you've probably heard old hippies talk about this strain too. It's available at Bud's Garage. And if you order it online, this entire ounce of marijuana costs you $18.49. $18.49. If you would have told me 21 years ago I was going to buy an ounce of marijuana for $18.49, I would have thought you were full of shit. And yet here we are. Thank you, Washington. Sometimes I think our creator does things just for me. And when marijuana became legal in this state, I literally told Godzilla, I said, thank you, Godzilla. I think you did this just for me. And that's vain to think. Or is it? Or is it, people? I don't know. But it's great.
Or to this day,
good strain. Bud's Garage. Order it online, or you have to pay $36
Saturday Night Live
for it.
Always gets it for longevity because it's crazy. They've been around so long.
SCTV.
But for like pure funny, for me, it's like In Living Color and Chappelle Show. Yeah, and I feel like you don't get.
Oh, and if you're wondering,
that's
illegal. Is your marijuana use the reason your children were kidnapped? No, my marijuana use has been adjudicated on by judges and commissioners, and it's consistently the same thing. She admits that she smokes marijuana. It's legal. She has no criminal history. She claims that she's been arrested over 20 years ago for stealing a bagel, but there's no record of it anywhere, which I never understood. But I did find out that it's because the attorney at the time was so good. He made it go bye-bye, apparently, without me even knowing.
I feel like In Living Color broke open the door for chaotic sketches that were like really funny, man, wildly offensive, really fun. I mean, to this day, like there's a lot of shit on In Living Color that if you tried to do like in the height of what
I haven't been holding the bag of marijuana near the camera for minutes, Nerd Squad, but I'm still looking at it at 8:13 p.m. I'm looking at the visual of the live stream recording of me holding up the marijuana.
There's an episode where fucking the camera falls.
They gave it 2 snaps.
Yeah, the camera falls on Damon Wayans and he becomes heterosexual all of a sudden. And then David Linguero starts touching him and goes, "Make your stuff away from me, man." That episode.
How about when he played Handyman?
Oh, and another big reason for it is my multiple times convicted stalker and abuser has been arrested nationwide for, I can't remember if it was 26 or 36 different DUIs. Not just for alcohol either. He was also busted with cocaine possession in Texas and driving under the influence of both alcohol and cocaine. Anyway, and I don't have any of those because I don't do that. Because I'm old. Keep in mind, long before I had children, I was a dumbass. But never since having children.
Mentally retarded.
I love that
Oh
one.
my God.
That's my favorite movie.
Yeah, a handicapped superhero. It was.
And that was always a point the judges brought up. This guy has 20 or 30 something DUIs.
Superhero movie about him. Handyman.
Nationwide is on your side.
Dude,
keep in mind though, since he made the change from career criminal to paralegal, I have been told that he's been going around attempting to have his records expunged in every state he can.
guy's fucking whole face is burned off. Jesus Christ.
My daughter's a burn victim, by the way.
That's hard.
And there's some states, such as Arizona, out of Yuma County, he got arrested for physically attacking a pregnant stranger. He may have killed her baby. He threw her onto the ground and shoved her into a sunglasses hut. Why? Because he wanted to steal a fifth of vodka. Well, he got arrested for that. And then his dad came over, and his dad thought he had only been arrested for stealing the vodka. So his dad paid the bail for the vodka. The jail or the courthouse or both of them made a mistake, and they didn't realize he was also there for attacking that pregnant stranger. A more serious charge. Anyway, long story short, he was accidentally released, and he and his dad fled that state that same night, and then he decided to stay out of the state for 7 years, so he couldn't be charged for it. The woman and her baby, we don't know what happened to them. She was in her 3rd trimester. So I'm guessing if she landed on her stomach, probably something bad happened. This is the person that the domestic terrorist upstairs and all of the women up there have instructed to abuse my disabled son specific to their disabilities for 13 months. And it's also the only reason why they were able to facilitate their numerous actionable kidnappings this summer. These are the same boys they then sent here to perpetrate a breaking and entering after 19 days of discussing it above my head and me reporting it. My level of disdain and lack of respect cannot be articulated to the vaginas involved in this. And I do know, like I said, the FBI has stated there is one female who is a real female. The rest of the women, I hold you up as just the worst of the species. And I know people are like, it's not fair. There's guys that have been up here for just as long. There are men upstairs that have been upstairs since March 2023 too. But here's the thing. They're men. And also, another big thing, the FBI has stated that the men are the ones that recognize the truth and reality. Reality. The truth doesn't care about your feelings. And my feelings are, you are horrible, horrible, horrible women.
That's what you'll get.
Yeah. It's wild that shows like
that one,
that.
bro. Ahead of his time.
Or to put it another way, you are the most selfish of women I have ever met. And it's not a good look.
Oh, wait. Well, so was that other movie. We were just talking about that. Ace Ventura. Ace Ventura.
Yeah.
Yes. When you find out that she's a trans person and the dick comes out and everybody starts throwing up.
And to the one woman that is a good woman, if you're up there, I don't know if you are or not, but you,
all,
my dear, you
even
and
if
I
she
can
had
be
a trend,
friends.
is that photo again?
Unfortunately, not until
that's Sean Young,
these
right?
idiots
That's
have been
Young,
sentenced.
yeah,
But
when
in
she
like
was
a year,
hot.
I will reach
So even
out
if
to
she had a
you.
dick,
I'll
there's a
try
lot
and
of
be
guys
friends
that are
with you.
Listen, nobody needs to know about that dick.
Nobody needs to know about that, man.
That dick and you and me and I
remember one time it happened
anything.
to me, bro. I just looked at it and going, wow, that's a big ass skin tag.
There's got to be a gap, otherwise it becomes a conflict of interest.
Whew. Yeah, all those shows, like, I mean, what are the other great sketch shows? Mad TV had some bangers.
Mad TV.
There's some bangers on Mad TV. But it's another show that's
Second
like...
City TV,
you
I
do
watched
so
that
many
growing up.
Kids in the Hall.
Kids in the Hall.
Kids in the Hall. Kids in the Hall was fantastic. That was great. You know, I was a Kids in the Hall fan, but I didn't really start watching it, like really get into it until after I'd met Dave. Like, I didn't know much about Kids in the Hall. I knew it was funny. I knew everybody said it was funny, but I don't think I'd ever even watched a sketch. And then I became friends with Dave doing news radio. And then I started really getting into it. I was like, oh, that guy had a very unique, or still does, have a very, very unique sense of humor. He rewrote, like, I don't know what percentage, 40% of, like, the lines on news radio, like, on the set.
Yeah.
He rewrites things all the time. And he was always, like, coming up with a better way to do something, and always had, like, a sense of, like, a pacing. That's a totally different thing, man, when you're making sketches Like sketch is like to be able to do that and do a lot of like really funny scenarios that are unique. That's a very.
It's hard, right? To stand up because we want to end it, huh?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's a totally different way of thinking. You know, Gillian Keeves is another fantastic one. That to this day. Like the problem with that show is like it's got this amazing core fan base, but it doesn't. It's way funnier than the amount of people that have seen it. It's way funnier, which is crazy because Shane Gillis is one of the biggest comics in the world.
Yes. He's funny as hell.
He's one of the biggest comics on earth. Like he's selling out arenas everywhere.
Yes.
But yet people don't realize how good Gillian Keeves is. It's like there's the one where they do the OnlyFans dad. It's one of the hardest I've ever laughed in my fucking life. It's so funny. It's so funny and so crazy. And because no one's telling them what to do, they're just doing what's funny. And that's what got fucked up. There were so many fucking nannies around everybody, telling everybody what you can and can't say, and so many subjects you can and can't cover. Like, you gotta stay out of the way. Just like the managers in the early days.
Yes.
They're telling you, Felipe, you need braids. You know, braids, bro, with beads, and you talk about the beads when you're on stage. You're like, what?
You know, wear a suit.
Shut the fuck up. Get out of here.
I remember one time, bro, they told me to wear a suit, and I wear it, and I saw Joe Diaz wearing a suit, and I said, bro, you look ridiculous, huh? Joe Diaz, he was wearing a beanie. I remember I called him the Coca-Cola bear. He got mad.
Suits are a weird move, but they're sometimes fun. I've worn suits on stage before. It makes you feel different. It does. It really does.
Do you feel like you're going to, like, change your posture, or...
No, you just feel like you're more of a motherfucking professional. Bitch, look at this. And a well-tailored suit is what you really want. The kind, like, modern suits, you can move in them. Like, they have, like, stretch to them, which is different than, you know, when I was a kid, I thought of suits, I thought of, like, you're handcuffed. Like, you can't move good.
Yeah.
Like, you can't kick someone with fucking suit pants on. You know, you can't move well.
I know, I always see Johnny Carson in his suits.
Yeah.
Those suits look tight as hell.
Well, it's just the fabrics suck back then. If you especially if you're a bigger person, you know, if you lift weights or something like that, if you have muscles, everything's going to be constricted and tight and all fucked up. It's not going to fit good. So suits now, if you get a good one, like I got mine made by David August. They do them for the UFC, and I've had them make a bunch of suits for me. They're amazing. They do it to your actual shape. So everything's perfect.
I mean, I don't want to make fun of the other guys, but you're announcing, you know, you're a big muscle guy, but it doesn't look like you're coming out of that suit when you wear it. Look real good on you.
Yeah, it's because they make it to your shape, you know.
And
so it's real
Fox
comfortable.
Sports, man, they're about to just come out, and they look like fucking orangutans, bro. They're like Mr. Hyde.
Well, you know, a lot of those dudes are bigger than me anyway. That's
bigger
it
than me too.
There's a certain size that you get. Like
Joe
you
is
put the Rock in a
ripped,
suit,
but he's
it
not
still looks
super
ridiculous.
tall.
It's like, what the
He's
fuck?
hot though.
are you
He's
made out of,
intimidating,
dude?
even though he's not tall.
First time I met him backstage at the UFC, and he had cowboy boots on, right? So it doesn't even seem
Cowboy
like
boots?
Yeah, he don't even seem like a real person. Like when you meet him in real life, you're like, what the fuck are you? He's like a superhero.
Yeah.
Like you're seeing like a real live superhero. And a super nice guy, man. He came and worked out with us. We all worked out. Tony Hinchcliffe, Derek, Hassan. We all fucking lifted weights together, hung out, got in the sauna. Shane Gillis. We're all just chilling with The Rock, working out with him. Like no cameras, no nothing. I was like, we don't have to post this. Let's just have some fun. It's like, fuck yeah. He was cool as shit. Cool as shit, man.
Wow, that's amazing, man.
It was fun. I enjoyed talking to him. He's a good guy.
I was in an airplane at the Delta, and I saw Jason Momoa.
Oh, he's another one.
And I said,
a little too handsome for me.
And I just said, what's
Jason
up?
Momoa is hot, dude. I love his face scar.
No, I don't know how to meet people. I always have weird people. I said, Jason! Just like that, Jason! What's up?
You know who else is hot? His fucking wife,
close
dude.
together on the airplane.
Lenny
Then he saw me
Cryberattacks, Bill
again,
Cosby's
bro.
daughter.
Then I said, what's
From
up?
The Cosby Show.
Then I felt like I creeped him out again, man. And
I
then my
can't think of her
wife
name
was
right now.
recording
She's
him,
hot.
bro, recording him. But I was on my phone. He thought I was recording him, but
I met him in a Whole Foods parking lot. I met him in a Whole Foods parking lot in Woodland Hills. I was going to pick up some groceries, and he was there too. I was like, what's up, man? How you doing? What's going on? We were talking. I think that was before he did Conan, which I still say to this day, the movie's not good. Like the Conan movie, it falls apart. But the way it looked was amazing. And he played Conan, and he's the perfect Conan. Like, that's what Conan would have looked like. He wouldn't have looked like a bodybuilder. No disrespect to Arnold, because he looked amazing. But it's like Conan was just a big, giant warrior. And when he played that guy, what was the guy he played on Game of Thrones?
Crackle or something like that.
God, I can't remember. It was fucking incredible at that.
He played with
that's Conan, man.
Yeah.
That's Conan. Someone needs to do a good Conan the Barbarian movie. Go back and read the Robert E. Howard books. The books are great. It's this super depressed dude in like the 1930s writes about this barbarian. Yeah. Khal Drago, that's right.
There we are. Two people get mistaken by.
Bro, get a photo of him when he was Conan. Jason Momoa as Conan. Bro, he was the perfect Conan. Right there. That's what Conan's supposed to look like.
That's how I'm supposed to look,
That's the perfect Conan. That's the Conan you believe is real. That's a guy throwing a sword around his whole life and fighting off dragons. He's not a bodybuilder.
No.
He looks like that. That's what it looks like in the book. Like, that's fucking Conan.
We're identical.
That's Conan. I mean, someone needs the guy's still capable of playing this character. Someone, please.
Me.
I wish Quentin Tarantino was into Conan. Quentin, if you're hearing me, please read the books. Quentin Tarantino doing Conan would be the most epic thing of all time. Could you imagine? He would do it right.
Or Beastmaster.
If he was into it, he would have to be into it. I have no idea if he's into it. But if
I
he
don't know
was into it,
if Quentin Tarantino might do it,
somebody should do
it'll
it.
start with the ending. It'll be like the ending of the movie in the beginning and confuse.
Somebody should do it. The books are great, man, because it's all from the mind of this tortured, depressed dude who winds up killing himself.
It'll be the first time that you see a Conan movie with everybody saying the N-word over and over.
I don't think they had that word back then. I think if you want to do it right,
they'll make one up.
I think if they really wanted to do it right, they should probably do it the way like Mel Gibson did Apocalypto.
That was a badass fucking movie, bro. You felt that movie, bro.
Right, but you know what I'm saying? Like, hearing the people say it, and the same thing he did with the Passion of the Christ. They spoke in the language, and it was all subtitles. Like, they spoke in the language, so you were transmitted exactly how these people were saying. You felt like it was real. Like Apocalypto, you felt like it was real. Like, there was no English in that movie. That is a blockbuster movie. That is a wild action-adventure movie.
That one was hardcore, man. The Passion of the Christ.
Yes. There's something about being sucked into hearing the actual language of the people that would be doing this.
And if you're wondering what I'm doing right now, I'm reminding myself I consented. I gave the Federal Bureau of Investigation my consent. But I am so annoyed. Like, that's not even the right adjective. Exhausted isn't the right adjective either. It's like a mixture of annoyed and exhausted that is at a totally different level than either word conveys. It's not distraught. It's just, well, it's like I said earlier today. Remember earlier today before you came over with your fucking stalking and your domestic terrorism? Your witness intimidation and your attempts to impede in federal investigation and to defraud and, well, you know, you're stalking on the exterior. It's like I said earlier when I said what my mood was. What did I say? I said my mood today was like Tank Girl. And then I followed it up by some sort of comment where I basically said I was a smart ass. And that's because when the FBI told me that you guys were going to act extra psychopathic until the 24th, I expected some sort of fucking inanity like this evening. But knowing that UNIT207 is actively upstairs hoping for more inanity for what, the third day? Or are you going to come back later tonight and do it? I don't even know. But it is not only pathetic, it's also making me remind myself, I did consent to this. I did consent. I consented so the Federal Bureau of Investigation could arrest each and every one of you that didn't blow the whistle and choose to do the right thing. And each and every one of you who decided to make yourselves go from being paid federal felons to paid federal felons who were perpetrating acts of domestic terrorism for half a year. And I consented because I knew that there must be other victims who, unfortunately, probably humored you since they were unaware of all of the things that my career has entailed that I learned.
It's so much better than, because like whenever they do like Game of Thrones or something like that in another country, all of a sudden everybody has an English accent.
Yes.
That's how they do it. Instead of talking like an American, you can't talk like us because that would just throw people off. So you have to have some sort of a proper
kind
way
of like
of
the
speaking.
Exorcist, man. Like if the Exorcist, the devil, would have.
And then remember, why haven't I filed another police report? Because the FBI wants me to file one once a week with you dumb fucks. And they have it all. They have the full transcription of the debrief that started at like 4:50, 4:55. In the living room and dining room of Unit 207. They got it all. A lot of what they've used me for, other than being Big Bait McGee, is to tell you things and then see what you would do after you'd been told. Things like, this phone call is being recorded by the FBI. You guys literally watched me file FBI reports and report you as a domestic terrorist organization right before you became one. Do you have half a brain?
If it had like an Irish accent, it would have been a totally different movie. But the Latin accent, the whatever language, Latin language.
Right. Yeah.
And then it's extra fucked up because I also know that the whistleblowers are at risk of retaliation more severe than I have experienced. So that to me means them being killed or them being unlawfully committed or unlawfully arrested. Those are some of the things that they haven't perpetrated against me. And they have to listen to me. But at the same time, I can't restrain my tongue. I don't know why I'm so nice and everything, but ever since your 100 plus terminations of my live streams, my patience and tolerance for those of you who haven't blown the whistle is like at an all-time low. It's at an all-time low. I still have enough compassion that I would save your life, but I wouldn't hang around for a thank you.
Yes. Yeah.
Fuck yeah,
Exactly.
You don't even know what the language is, but you're fucking scared.
Right, it has to be exotic. You can't have the devil going, hey, you fucking piece of shit, I'm gonna fuck your eyeballs.
You better get out of my garage.
Yeah, you can't have the devil talking like Jerry Seinfeld.
I speak in absolutes.
Yeah, you can't have the devil with a whiny voice.
Or a Boston accent or something.
That was the scariest thing about Mike Tyson. He had this voice, voice that was so easy to make fun of, and he fucking murdered everybody. He was like, it was almost like he was begging you to make fun of his voice.
Dangerous dudes.
Yeah, it was almost like he was like begging you.
You're like you, bro. You're like one of those guys. You're like to someone that doesn't know you personally. You're like, try me.
No, I'm not like that at all, though. I'm really.
If I didn't know you and I saw you walking on the street and you're not Joe Rogan, I'd be like, okay, man.
And then I'm just going to pause it here and say this. And in the event that the last 2 days of stalking and insanity and incompetence and requesting to go to prison were only done in a delusional attempt to try and get me to make a legal filing after you heard that the FBI said I wasn't to file anymore this month, because none of these things occurred until after you heard me say that, then you are even more liable than you were before. Class A felony witness tampering. That's what it is when it's an FBI informant. None of you, even those of you that haven't blown the whistle, can be so stupid to not have noticed or heard things like click on your cell phone that you shouldn't hear right before you make a dial. People that are telling you, people that are talking about you on the cell phone, while you're out in public, stating what you're doing. You had to have noticed. Think, reflect. Because I'm telling you, there are 12 different FBI agents, all just literally, I could walk to each and every one of them. That's the distance. And there have been 12 since Valentine's Day. Why have there been 12? Huh? It's because you're dumb as fuck. That's the answer, okay? The answer is that's why.
Man,
because you're dumb as fuck.
He's healthy.
Mutiny fools.
I'm friendly. That's what we all need, my friend.
Or just keep sending the same individuals if you're not going to do that. Like whoever was outside my door today, I guarantee you, unless they are already working for the FBI and were instructed to do that and help you guys for your prosecution,
and then,
unless that's the case, I guarantee you they will be in jail.
And I remember
before
the reason they call it
April
solo fight, 'cause
21st.
you're supposed to use it by yourself. But I remember I told everybody you gave it to me, and everybody wanted to hit it. And by the time I got it back, it was fucking hot.
Yeah, I remember those things. I try to stay like. I think if you're smoking a cigar, like butane is the way to go. You know, you burn the end of it, but you don't want to like keep doing it. You want to.
And remember, I don't work for the FBI, so I don't know. But I do know that the FBI has stated that there are undercover agents involved in this case.
If you're gonna light,
I do know that there are undercover agents that will be testifying against many persons.
They do it even further.
Where the persons they're testifying against are going to be shocked
to light their cigar. Those are super nerds.
Cedar strips?
So perhaps that was one of the idiots outside of my door. I don't know.
They light little strips of wood, and they light from pure wood. Then they light their cigar. This is super nerds when it comes to cigars. Like they get into.
Oh, that's what that guy said. Guys in New York, give me some ember.
Give me some ember.
Ember. Oh, that's that. What is ember? Fire? Oh. Yeah. Oh shit.
Yeah. So these guys, they take little cedar strips, and they light them on fire, and they light their cigar from the cedar strips. So this way, you're not getting any of the butane fumes. I don't even know how much you would get. I don't,
Get butter later?
Yeah, sure. You know how to work it?
No.
The thing back? We're probably going to find out that every time you burn a lighter near you, you inhale like 10 times more than you're ever supposed to in your life.
Also, if anybody's wondering why there's no other updates in the description, it's because it's just the status quo that it has been. UNIT207 is actively attempting to terminate the live stream. It's not being allowed because of the FBI and/or informants and/or undercover agents. I am doing nothing preventive.
You know what's real bad?
What?
Scented candles.
But I am also confident that they're not going to be perpetrating a third breaking and entering, even if they terminate the live stream. Because the FBI has consistently said I will be running a live stream right here in my basement when they are all detained.
That would be a good thing to know. Because I think
that's not been changed at all since August.
Candles that you're not supposed to inhale. And when you're
so that to me means even if they terminate the live stream, it's going to be reinitiated before they bust in because it will be running when they're detained.
Right?
Which, if you missed it, is supposed to happen next month on an unspecified date if the FBI has their way in a blitz sweep, while a couple of individuals are in the Snohomish County Superior Court
so
House.
You're burning petroleum. Paraffin is the most used candle wax worldwide, according to the National Candle Association, the major trade association representing U.S. candle manufacturers.
That can change,
and their
subject
suppliers.
to officers'
so
actions.
Candles made from paraffin. However, few studies on candle emissions or their potential effects on human health exist, and conclusions from the research are mixed. There is no overall conclusion that paraffin candles will either will or won't harm your health, says pulmonologist Dr. Sobia Farouk, a clinical assistant professor at the Cleveland Clinic Lerner College of Medicine. But the risk may also depend on various factors, including candle type and quality, how often and how long you're burning it, the airflow in the space where you're burning it, your health status, and more. Well, either it's not good for you or it's fine. These are the options. And it seems to me like there's a little gaslighting going on here. Like, how could it be good for you to have petroleum burning in your house? I want you to show me a study that's like measure the fucking air in the room when you have 3 candles. Measure the air in the room when you have 4 candles. Keep going. Tell me when I'm gonna get lung cancer from this shit. Because, wow, yeah, benzene, a known carcinogen, is another VOC released by paraffin candles. Hawk added, long-term exposure to this chemical has been linked to blood disorders such as leukemia. When inhaled, benzene can also be a respiratory irritant, which means it could probably... Yeah. But what about, what is a candle that you can use? Like, there's got to be candles that are not bad.
I hope all those candles that I've got in a massage parlor were safe.
New candle. Oh, now, candles made from soy wax, beeswax, or stearin, coconut oil, or animal fats are often considered healthier, but anything that is burned emits harmful particulates or chemicals, Everett said. So these candles also release VOCs into the air. It's just that paraffin wax is usually more polluting, according to... Oh, great. So they all suck. The risk of toxic emissions is greater when candles are scented or dyed, which is another reason why paraffin-free candles aren't immediately in the clear. This is because artificial fragrances have VOCs, including phthalates, which have been linked to learning and behavior problems, obesity, impaired development of the reproductive systems, and more. Evans said the unscented candle in the 2015 research also caused concerning concentrations of toxins, but had the lowest amount compared with its scented counterparts. Yeah, by what ratio? I wonder how much lower. The National Candle Association maintains that candles are safe for use in the home, a spokesperson said in a statement. First of all, you can't totally say anything's safe, because I was dating a girl once and she burnt her fucking house down with candles. That's exaggerating. She burnt a wall in her house.
What was she doing?
She just let her candles burn down, and something caught fire, and it like lit the side of her fucking bedroom hall. Like her wall was on fire. She liked candles, so they're not totally safe. It's fire. Fires aren't totally safe. You can't say it's safe. Like, you could definitely do something stupid with it. Like, you know what's safe? Marshmallows. Marshmallows are safe.
Not if you light them.
It's not good to eat. They're bad for your body, but they're fucking safe. They're not going to kill you.
Unless you burn them to make s'mores with a lighter and a fork.
You know what's supposed to be really bad for you? Paper straws. Paper straws have those forever chemicals in them. See if that's true. Otherwise, we'll have to cut this out without getting sued by the paper straw industry. Oh, speaking of straws, right? Everybody knows that paper straws came around because everybody saw that video of that turtle with that straw in his nose. That's the only reason why we started looking at paper straws different than everything else, right?
Paper or plastic?
Plastic.
Oh, okay.
Plastic straws came about. What did I say, paper? Plastic straws came about because of that video of that turtle with the plastic straw in his nose, right? Remember that?
Yeah.
That was
like in their nose, right?
Yeah, deep in the turtle's nose. New studies found that 90% of paper straws tested contain forever chemicals, or PFAS, compared to 75% of plastic straws. So even plastic straws have those fucking chemicals in them, but it's even worse for you to use paper straws. Paper straws assessed by researchers at University of Antwerp, Belgium, were found to contain more forever chemicals per polyfluoroalkyl. How do you say that? Give it a shot, Felipe.
Polyfluoroalkyl.
Yeah, substances or PFASs than plastic, but all of them are bad for you. What it's basically saying is that even straws, 75% of plastic straws have tested that they contain forever chemicals. That's not good. So all of it's bad. We should probably abandon the idea of straws.
I like McDonald's straws, the big fat one.
Here's what you don't want: a metal straw and a Stanley, and then fall on your face.
Oh,
okay, because people have done that.
Idiots.
Well, listen, I've fallen before.
Somebody?
No, but I've fallen before. I'm
With
an
a
idiot.
straw?
No, I haven't, but I would imagine, like, I would, just because you fall with a straw doesn't mean you're an idiot. But people got to be aware that that's basically a metal shank that's going to go right through your
It'll
face
fuck you
if you
up.
trip. You got to carry that thing if you're like clumsy, like you're carrying a knife. Like move it away from your body. You know, don't catch your body with it if you fall down and then stab yourself
I know,
in the
man.
face.
You wouldn't let your baby hold that. Why are you holding it?
Yeah. Why are you holding that? You're not ready for that yet.
You ain't ready.
Well, especially if you're clumsy. Clumsy people should really know they're clumsy and be super careful with what they're
clumsy.
carrying. Are you clumsy?
Yeah, man.
Don't carry a rake.
I was outside over there I was holding that baseball, and I'm thinking, I'm holding that baseball, and I'm looking at the werewolf, and I'm thinking, looking at my wife, I bet you I could throw a knuckleball and make it right in the fucking werewolf mouth. You're gonna fuck something upside down.
Yeah, don't fuck up my werewolf, bro. That's one of my prized possessions. And even if you could hit it, what does that prove? Don't want to break the werewolf's teeth. What are you trying to prove, Felipe?
That still could throw a knuckleball.
Were you a good
shut
baseball
off.
player?
Hell no.
No? But you had a good knuckleball? Or no?
No, I was good at playing street ball with a tennis ball,
Mm-hmm.
and I had a good jump on a tennis ball. Like we would throw like a regular fastball.
Yeah.
Like to make that shit. Man, that was good.
Dude, we used to play stickball in the street. That was fun. We were kids.
I don't get that game. We competed the other day to learn how to play because they're having like a stickball tournament in New York last week when I was there. Yeah, that's the video I saw.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were having a tournament. All the veterans that used to play stickball in New York showed up to play.
Oh, he slid on
yes,
concrete,
bro. But I never knew the game because in LA we play over the line.
That's a good way to get a staph infection.
Look at that,
Sliding
bro.
on concrete? Good way. They're getting pumped. Yeah. That looks like a guy who plays really good stickball.
Terror Squad.
Yeah, it's a city thing.
A broomstick, right?
When I lived in Jamaica Plain, which a little place outside of Boston, we played that. We just play stickball in the street. People get mad at you. They hit their car with a tennis ball. It was stupid. But kids are just always looking for something to do back then. Now they're all online.
I used to play crazy games growing up, bro. That I'm pretty sure kids don't play that anymore. I used to play this game called Huevos, which is called eggs. We used to put like a bunch of holes on the floor with your name on it, and then somebody will throw a tennis ball, and whoever the ball lands on that hole, that person has to grab that ball and fuck somebody up in the back before they make it to the wall. And that person you hit has to grab that ball and then hit people on the way back before they get to the other side of the wall. And if you miss everybody, you get an egg on your little hole. And once you get 4 of them, we all take turns fucking you up with a tennis ball while you just stand there like this.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, there was no cable back then. And we didn't want to join gangs.
I think you did.
And we didn't want to
I
read.
think you guys had a softcore gang.
We didn't have no Boy Scouts.
That's a crazy way to make friends.
And you ever play suicide though?
I don't remember. How's it go?
It's a handball court, a wall, and you throw a ball. And there's 5 kids, and you catch it. But if you miss it, everybody starts fucking you up.
No, I never played.
So you make it to the wall.
No, I never played that.
Suicide.
Never played
I'll
that.
tell you, everybody stand by the wall, and you throw the ball against the wall. You try to catch it. And if you miss, they fucking jump you till you get to the wall with the ball.
Fuck that.
That's how
You got videos of it, Jim?
There it is, suicide! Oh my God.
Oh my God. Requires at least 2 players. Can have as many as can be accommodated by the playing area. But this is funny when they take a game like this and they break it down. Like, these are the rules.
We did play wall ball. We called it wall ball.
You call it wall ball?
Did you do it like that?
It was honestly, yeah. So if you fucked up, you'd have to stay on the wall. People could throw the ball.
There it is, right there. They're
Yeah.
fucking them up.
They're
Wall
open.
ball.
Until the player touches the wall, they are open to be pegged, struck hard with a thrown ball by the player who caught it. If a player comes into contact with the ball but fails to catch it, they are also open to be pegged.
I mean, that's what it was. It's a tough word to use, but that's what it is.
Getting hit by a tennis ball is a good thing to get hit by, though, right? It sucks. Like, if someone's throwing it, it sucks. But it's not going to kill you.
There's always this asshole kid that didn't like that kid that was going to get hit, and he'll put that fucking ball in a shitload of water and mud.
Oh, that's a problem. He's cheating. He can't cheat. That guy
also, remember, is that person that's supposed to get hit by the ball, runs home, we'll fucking chase him home or beat him up in front of his mom.
Boy, that's why cable's important.
Yes,
that's why the internet's important. YouTube, you got to keep people pacified.
TikTok saved your life.
Imagine if it did. Imagine if it saved a few lives. People just at home scrolling instead of out gangbanging. You know, I mean, everybody gets addicted to it. If you don't go out and do terrible things because you just scroll and stare at your TikTok.
I know, man. I wonder if kids still shoplift for fun.
I bet they do. You know, there's been like famous people that have been caught shoplifted. I think a lot of people who shoplifted.
You shoplifted when you were little?
I did.
You were hungry?
I got no. I was just dumb and young, and I got caught. When
you don't do it now, right? Like,
no.
Just, you see opportunity.
No. I did it like a couple times ever. It was like candy bars and shit.
Oh.
When I was just hanging around with a bunch of bad kids, and we would do that. We would go. It was a thrill. You'd go to a store and steal something, and I think we probably did it 2 or 3 times, and I got caught.
I don't do it anymore, but
I felt so stupid.
I know, but sometimes I'm walking around and I see like a bag of donuts, but they're far from where the donuts are.
Right.
Like they're by the shoe and they're open, and I'm all high looking at the donut. Like, damn, you're lost.
Joey Diaz used to swipe lighters from 7-Eleven just to stay sharp. When he had money, he would swipe lighters just to stay on his toes. How you doing, brother?
I saw him do that while he's talking to the guy, and he put his Snickers.
Yeah, he's got some hand movements to distract you.
I think that was a game, man, that road comedies would do, bro, on the way to a gig. Who could shoplift the most shit out of the gas station?
That's not good for our reputation. That's not good for our reputation.
We should get power bars.
Traveling entertainers. We get power bars. Gas station food, man. Those times when you're on the road and all you're eating is garbage.
Hell yeah, man. You gotta buy a grilled cheese there and put pork rinds in it from the package.
You gotta take a chance with the bean and cheese burrito that you microwave. You have to like open that strip of plastic.
Those were good, though. They were good.
When you were hungry.
Ramonas.
Every now and then you got like good food at a gas station. You're like, why doesn't everybody do this? Like sometimes you go to a gas station and it's like a gas station, but it's also like a
fried
taco
chicken
spot. Fried chicken, cheeseburgers. You're like, damn, those are legit fucking cheeseburgers.
Hell yeah, dude.
Okay.
Where am I? This place is dangerous here.
Some of the
You would
best
make more money, right?
JoJo's
That's
I've
what
had in
Buc-ee's
my
figured
life, man, have come from a gas station.
What the fuck do you want? We got it, dude. We got barbecue,
Homemade
pickled
French
dicks.
fries
Let's
that are
go.
heavily
We got
seasoned.
eggs, cheese, milk. You can buy a house. You can buy a fucking sled. What do you need? Fishing poles?
What you need? You need a hamburger? What else?
You need a Yeti cooler and a Traeger grill.
No,
We got
dude,
those.
I would never have a
We got a
hamburger
shower
from
in
a
the
gas
back if
station.
you want to
though.
shower.
That's my limit. No hamburgers from gas stations or
You know,
hot
there's a
dogs.
lawsuit
way.
going on
No
with
meat
Buc-ee's.
from the
There's
gas stations.
They're claiming that these people copied
Nachos
their
and
logo.
JoJo's.
Which one?
Chucky's?
No, there's another spot that has like another kind of an animal.
Chicken
Yeah, they do
strips
that
if
with
you're
all-
at that
that's not-
gas
they knock off-
station.
no
That's
matter
like the
wherever that
only
is,
one
they
on
knock off all sorts
Machias.
of stores. I'm trying to find out.
They've got good
Is
chicken
it in
strips.
another country? Oh, I thought it was in America.
It's in Mexico.
Oh, interesting. Oh, Mexico loves to do that.
Because there's a fake.
Oh, I've
what
seen
you're talking
that.
about?
No,
Oh,
I've
is
seen
it?
that.
Okay.
That's not it. That's the fake Buc-ee's in Mexico. Put that picture up again. Put that picture up
Oh
again.
my God. So there's a fake In-N-Out in Mexico too.
Oh, that's so funny, man.
And
That's
there's
so
a fake
funny.
In-N-Out in California
Yeah, I've
too.
seen the fake In-N-Out in Mexico. There's a fake one in California?
Yeah, it's called Easy Takeout, and I think they used to they same uniforms, same stand, same burgers, but they just added a breakfast burger. It's called Easy Takeout in West Covina.
Wow. So
Yeah,
they copied the logo.
It's just very similar here.
Lucky's.
Lucky's,
Oh,
but this is
Lucky's.
what the lawsuit's about. Same city, Tamaulipas, Mexico.
Oh, yeah, they even got a little gap in between it. Buc-ee's knockout. Lucky spotted.
He's lucky to have 2 teeth.
But that's the one in Mexico, right, Jamie?
But they both. I told you they
They're
both.
both. But I don't think this other one
La
is
Lucky's.
in Mexico.
This is
I
from
might be wrong.
a month ago, 2 months ago. Buc-ee's taking legal action against Mexican companies.
Shut up.
It's the one
That's
thing that came up.
crazy.
I was looking.
Oh, okay. Well, what was that animal? That was like the Buc-ee's is
It's
a
a
beaver,
chupacabra,
right?
bro.
So what was that other animal? What was the Lucky? Who's Lucky? Is Lucky a rabbit? Like, what is Lucky?
Lucky is also a baby beaver.
Okay.
Oh my God.
No, really?
Yeah, we
Let me
have
see. Let me
he
see.
has a pompadour though,
Let me
right?
see. Where's Lucky's? What a bunch of dumbasses. Oh my God, it is a beaver. What is it?
He wearing a so. Oh,
It's
he's
a
a
raccoon.
raccoon.
Oh, it's a raccoon. Oh, okay. No, you can't do that.
He's a mask, man. He's a bandito.
Why can't you do that, though? Why can't you have Harry's? Or how about George's and have Curious George? They could, get together, a little franchise. Curious George. Everybody loves Curious George. Would that be okay? Like if they have George's, would they get sued?
They have a different lawsuit. Let's see.
There is a different lawsuit.
Superfuels trademark infringement.
Because you imagine if, like, the owners, whoever owns the
this is a little different.
Whoa!
Because it's like
I see
that's it. That's the one I saw. Superfuels. So they're saying it's because it's got a smiling animal.
And the red hat.
See, I don't know. I'm not on board with that one.
I'm trying to see what they're trying to.
I'm not on board with that one. I can't think that you could own the idea of having any kind of cute animal as a part of your logo. That seems kind of ridiculous. I don't understand copyright law, but doesn't that seem like a little ridiculous to you?
Yeah.
Like, what if it's a cat and you make it kitties, and you have a cute little cat? Are you telling me that I can't make a business called Kitties?
That depends where you're doing business at and how much of a copyright you have. Kind of like, is it nationwide? Do you have an international copyright, which is really tough?
Right, but is that a copyright infringement if you have kitties?
It depends on what. If you're
You
not
know
doing
what
the
I'm
same
saying? Like,
business,
imagine someone has a copyright to the ability. I mean, I don't understand any of this stuff, so clearly I'm talking out of my ass. But imagine if somebody has a copyright to just owning the ability to use a cartoon character in your logo. That seems completely insane, doesn't it?
Yeah, but what's his name? There's a comedy club in Tommy T's. He used to have the Lauren Hardy, the what you call it, the Lauren Hardy logos.
Lauren Hardy.
Yeah, it was and for his comedy club.
Oh,
and he got sued by Bozo the Clown. He owned the
Bozo owned Laurel and Hardy.
Yeah, the cartoon. Anything that you put cartoon on it with Laurel Hardy's face.
Imagine going back, watching Laurel Hardy. Imagine showing somebody that had no idea about American culture at all.
Yes.
Going back and you show them Laurel Hardy, and then right after you show them Chappelle's show when Dave plays the blind white supremacist that's black.
Yeah, that guy.
But imagine seeing like this is what comedy started out as, and this is comedy later. That is a wild ride.
Yes, man.
That's a wild ride. The ride from like Abbott and Costello.
Yes.
Who's on first?
Who's on for Eddie Cantor, bro?
Who's Eddie Cantor?
Eddie Cantor was the first comedian to do radio, and he was because I have a history for Fools podcast, so I learned about the history of stand-up comedy. Plus, I watched the documentary, but he was one of the first guys. But he was very clean, bro. He sang, and
can we hear some of this? Hear some of this.
He was getting paid $500 for 5-minute shows on radio. Yeah, Eddie Cantor. He was the first guy to have a radio comedy show.
What is it? I'm trying to hear what he's saying. What is he saying?
He's singing
some vaudeville nonsense.
The dumb ones know how to make love.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. The dumb ones know how to make love. That sounds like something Theo would say on stage.
And
I like him dumb.
He'll be on the radio, bro, talking, and then he'll pinch the chicks in their butts.
Oh, God.
Yeah, and then, like, they wouldn't say nothing, and finally a woman said something, Mr. Cantor! And he had her fired.
Well, I kind of remember, like, people back then were basically barbarians.
Yeah.
1920s people?
Bro, back then it was
World War I, bro.
Back then, for a stand-up comedian, like, when I found out was, imagine you do a gig, $200 back then, right? And the promoter says, I'm not gonna. The gangsters, I'm not gonna pay you, and if you don't get paid, and they will call the cops. You have three vagrants walking around downtown, and then you're three comedians walking around town with no hotel, no pay, and they're gonna pick you up for being a hobo now.
Yeah, you could get stiffed for sure.
But that was back then, bro.
Yeah.
That was a hard time. Imagine from then to now.
Well, I think there's probably still a lot of shit gigs like that out there for a lot of guys that are coming up. But it's just now there's more real gigs.
Yeah, better gigs.
Well, it's comedy's more accessible, because of YouTube and everything. Comedy's just it's everywhere. Like your special. Oh, tell everybody.
Oh, I have a special right now.
What a segue.
Yeah, I have a special right now on Netflix, Raging Fool. We shot it at the Crest Theater.
There's so many specials that I want to see on Netflix right now. I want to see Ari Schaefer's new special. I want to see Philippe's
we shot it with our own money, and we paid everybody, and then we sold it to Netflix. We made like a 2-year deal.
Oh, that's awesome.
So we owned it.
You look great. I love the tracksuit.
Yes, because a Raging Fool. Raging Bull.
I love the tracksuit. It's dope.
Because I was watching that movie Raging Bull.
Yeah.
And I was thinking that when Jake LaMotta had nothing left to do in his life, he had nothing how to make money.
Right.
He said, you know what? I'm going to be a comedian. So, and I thought, wow. He had nothing else to do with his life, so he figured out, I'm going to do stand-up comedy. Because that was the last thing, and for us, it's like the first thing.
Well, that happens with actors sometimes, too, when their careers kind of dwindle. They start doing stand-up. That happens. And he had you saw the movie, right, Raging Bull, when he's doing stand-up. And he's at a bar called Jimmy's Corner Bar, and that bar's still there. Stanhope was friends with him.
Really?
Yeah, because that guy lived down in Arizona.
Stanhope was hot until he seemed like he was
got photos of him hanging out
an alcoholic. I.e. Annie Letterman's podcast. Poor Stanhope, dude.
And that's a real story.
He needs a hug.
Man. Jake LaMotta was a character.
He needs a hug and somebody
a wild fella.
Take him off the booze for a couple days. Just for a couple days, man.
Goddamn Robert De Niro fucking nailed it.
Nailed it, huh?
Nailed it. I mean, nailed it. Like, he looked like an animal when he was Jake LaMotta, like the younger Jake LaMotta.
Did you fuck my wife?
Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ. He was so scary. He was so scary because he was just out of his fucking mind and so dangerous. And it was based on a real guy, man. I mean, the movie is real close to how that guy was, Jake LaMotta, when he was in his prime. He was a fucking monster, man.
I like when he looks at his hands, and then he goes, he don't like his hands because they're not big, I guess. He goes, I can never be a heavyweight.
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Crazy.
That's crazy. That's a different kind of human, man. And back then, there was a lot of people like that. You got to go back and put your mind into what it must have been like to be Jake LaMotta growing up and like what. So what year was Jake in his prime? What year did he fight Sugar Ray Robinson? Let's ask that. Jake LaMotta versus Sugar Ray Robinson.
62, 59,
42. Whoa! 42. Okay. Madison Square Garden, 1942. So you got to imagine.
Wow.
You got to just put your mind into the type of people that lived back then. I mean, like, cars were new. Sewage was new. Like, people had been coming over in boats. Criminals were everywhere. Crime was everywhere. Organized crime was the rule of the law in all the Italian communities, the Irish communities. That was the thing.
42, wow.
Yeah. This was just the United States. It's like, you ever watch that movie, Gangs of New York?
Yes.
Fucking great movie, right? That's a fucking great movie. And probably pretty accurate.
Yes.
Like, roughly pretty accurate the way life was back then.
Some of those gangsters that were in that movie were actually real people.
I believe it.
Like that woman in that movie, I think you talked about it. The one they used to collect ears and put them in a jar.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was an actual real person. She had a bar where people would just have a jar full of pickled ears and noses from previous fights.
Oh my God.
Ew, no.
And they'll have fights in the back with a mongoose fighting a dog.
Oh, animals. What the fuck,
Gangs
man?
of New York, man. That movie is so, because we don't think of New York that way. You think of New York as like New York City. Well, it was kind of dangerous in the 70s, and Giuliani cleaned it up, and then, it's pretty commercialized in a lot of ways. It's still a
Welcome,
beautiful
Cammy's.
city. But New York, during the time of that, whenever
Luau
that film was supposed
for
to
the
represent,
sheriffs,
was
the
a
FBI,
wild, crazy,
federal
almost like
marshals,
Wild West type
Crazy.
place.
and at least a couple of
Like, we think of
sergeants
wild,
and
we think of those
lieutenants,
kind of scenes,
and all
when
of
you think
the
of a Wild
surrounding
West
police
movie, right?
departments.
Right? You think,
Yeah, the good, bad, and the ugly.
yeah, you think of people getting stabbed and shot, but that was happening over there
Luau.
too. It's like, it's not like
Hawaiian
it
style.
never happened on the East Coast. They
Pineapple.
only did it on the West
Candace
Coast.
on people.
It was
Welcome,
happening in the whole
Tammy's.
country. And they had just gotten. I mean, these people had just gotten done with a fucking civil war, right?
Yeah.
Because back then, you got to think, 1940.
I don't eat barbecue pork
you
unless
go to,
it's
like,
Chinese
the
food with yellow mustard
1860s
and
to
Sesame
the
Street, so I
1940s.
won't be eating
That's
pig at
not
the
that
luau,
much time.
but I'll be eating
No.
pineapple.
That's pretty quick. That's 80 years.
80 years.
A lot of those fuckers are still alive.
Still alive.
Yeah.
Same mentality, same craziness.
And then you got more immigrants
More
coming
immigrants.
in on boats. No YouTube to watch, just a women of prayer. Someone told them to come.
I always think about that, man. Like when
Jesus.
I always, yeah,
The
her.
year.
She supposedly was real.
She was Maggie, Hellcat Maggie.
Jesus
I
Christ.
think about when the Irish are coming in at the same time as when that movie is happening,
Oof.
and they told them, "You want a free meal? You want to fight for your country?" And they give them a uniform, and their families go off to New York, and they go off to fight the South.
Jesus Christ.
Just imagine coming out of the boat and somebody just hands you a gun and a piece of bread and goes, "Go fight for America." And I think about that, like, wow, some hardcore people right there, man.
You want, yeah. Hardcore people. And
Different times, man.
Desperate.
Yeah, and then people look older than they do now.
Oh, yeah, they'll go quick.
Yeah, like you look at a person's photo and you go, "How old is that kid?" He looks like 70. Oh, that's a 25-year-old kid working the coal mine.
Yeah. Working in coal mines, those people all got sick. They all got fucked up. I mean, that's environmental pollution that you're signing up for. Like, you're going to go breathe coal dust no matter what. They all get horrible fucking, what is that, black lung?
Black lung.
That's terrifying. And then you've got people that just live around coal plants, and they're breathing that shit, and they're not even a part of that business.
I know, man. Like Wilkes Barre, Pennsylvania.
Bro, there's a place that we showed a video once. It was it Indiana, Jamie? Yeah? So there's like 3 coal plants near this city, and these people, they can wipe their windshield, and they have black soot on their fingers.
Shut up.
It just falls
Here in
from the
America?
sky. Yeah, it's in America. So these people are for sure breathing that shit in.
For Pittsburgh?
Indiana.
Oh, Indiana.
Yeah. That's scary. And that's a fraction of what's going on in China, bro.
Oh yeah, because when I was in Seattle, and I was crossing waiting for the car to pass. I was going to my show, and I saw it was like a 2-mile train, and it was all coal, real black coal coming from Minnesota. And I asked the cop that was standing there, I go, "I didn't know we still mine coal." And he goes, "Well, we don't use it, but it's all going to China."
Really?
Yeah, like it was like a mile, bro, of coal, and it had no cover on it.
That's crazy.
And it was just falling up. They say that I don't know how much coal flies. I don't know shit about coal, but I just know what the guy told me. There was a mile train of coal coming from Minnesota on that one line, and there was a boat. I can see the boat where it was going.
Wow. And it's all going to China.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're full steam ahead with coal.
Hey,
someone should check to see if maybe they know something we don't.
I know, man. What are they producing with that coal?
They're doing a lot. I mean, they produce so many of the things that we need, which is one of the craziest things that we all found out when everything got locked down, is you couldn't get anything because so much of what you wanted was made in China. Like, oh my God, or made in Russia, or made in anywhere where they had to come in on a ship. You know, like that became a real fucking problem.
I thought it was made in Akron, Ohio.
Yeah, they hardly make shit here. In comparison to what we consume way more, probably, I would guess, than any country of a similar size. And, yo, dog, still rocking the Samsung. I love it. I love when a comic holds out and doesn't go iPhone.
Oh, no, man. I like there's a bigger phone. It has a little pen.
I'll let you guys know another little secret. The text messages from my multiple times convicted stalker and abuser throughout the years have added a lot of evidentiary value. For those of you that don't know, this aggravated criminal conspiracy that has never once, not since the first day, ever been a legitimate operation. This has been clarified for me by the FBI in the last 24 hours. Never once, not even the day that I said that maybe they had in March of 2023. Nope, not even that. Anyway, the text messages sent from my multiple times convicted stalker and abuser, specifically in January and February 2023, to myself and to those of you going to prison with him. They offer a lot of evidentiary value too. Let it be known.
You like the pen. I love the pen. You're one of those guys. Which one is that?
For those of you wondering, what kind of text would that be? Well, that would be the text where things like, your neighbors and the North Everett Police Precinct are going to help me steal the children. They're going to harass and stalk you on my behalf outside of your door. And then all of the messages to everyone that helped him with the planning and orchestration of that. Let it be known. Some of you, maybe that helps you to understand why my mood has been how it's been, especially given your ongoing domestic terrorism and stalking.
Is that the S24?
Yes, that one. That
S24 Ultra?
Yes.
Yeah. Is that the newest one or the one right before it?
Right before it.
There's a new one that just came out. It's pretty dope, dude.
A year and a half ago, I think.
No, yeah, that's the old one. That's the S24 Ultra. I have that one. That one's sick.
Remember, anyone and everyone sticking to the demonstratively fraudulent claim that anything they did was, quote, reactive.
I go to a website, and if I open
they're the ones go.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so if there's something that's taking forever for you to get to the point because you want me to keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling while you show ads all over the place, that's a trap. So it'll just tell you, oh, there's an asteroid that might hit Earth within the next, fucking 60 years. Like, oh, great, there's a 3%. What is the percent chance?
And also, I assume you'll be back because the FBI did say you're going to be demonstratively psychopathic, and you have been every fucking day since they said that.
And then do that one screen, and then I circle it, and it'll find a sweater for me.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's really cool. Yesterday
and today.
That's
available on all phones now.
Until the 24th.
iPhone update has
I don't know if that means through the
Google
24th. I imagine it does. Might just be 2. But anyway,
my
I think now would be a good time
it.
to let
She
you
wants it
guys
like
know
to
that the FBI
have it
has
where
some
you
sort
watch
of fuck you
television,
in store
and
for
you
each
pause
and
with your
every one
finger
of
and make
you
a circle, and
who are going to prison
it just ships to your house.
on Wednesday or Thursday. One of those days, Wednesday or Thursday.
First of all, you can only buy so much shit. But second of all, like, what happens? Like, those glasses.
Can't be too calamitous though, because as long as you resist the temptation to break and enter.
The one that you can record.
Yeah,
remember, you get
some Harvard
10 to 12 days in the beginning of March.
Software with that.
Should be smooth sailing.
He sees you,
and the individuals that are going to prison for the longest, the FBI wants to make them feel happy.
The fuck is available online,
and like they're
sees
not.
Your Instagram page, finds your address.
If you resist that urge to break and enter between now and then,
hit the brakes.
Sound like the T-1000 Terminator.
Yeah, it's like hit the brakes. But I don't think they can.
Wasn't there a movie like that?
Yeah, there's been a bunch of movies.
The one with Roddy Piper was like that, wasn't it?
They Live.
They
have
Live.
The glasses.
Yes.
Right. That was Aliens.
I think about that when sometimes when you have a guest, they go, "Wait a minute, he's talking about."
And I don't know anything about what the fuck you is from the FBI coming your way. Those of you going to prison on Wednesday or Thursday.
You see through the whatever energy field they were
I
projecting.
can't even speculate.
Alien creatures that were pretending.
Maybe it's something to do with the new
There's a lot of
charges
people that
added
believe
to all
that
of
now.
your indictments as of midnight on the 24th. Maybe it's something to do with the charges you already have that become aggravated as of the 23rd.
I mean, if
I
there
don't
really
know.
are people that are actually
I'm
aliens
just an
that are
FBI
amongst us
informant.
that look like people and behave like people. This is the guy who figured it out.
Yes.
Try to say his name. Felipe, hit me with it.
But I do know, per the FBI, those attorneys that are facing federal disbarment, they are the ones that they were referring to as being extra psychopathic, which tells me every idiot outside of my door
I don't think they say Nui. I think they say Gwen,
is choosing
right?
to do what they're doing without immunity on behalf of those crazy-ass individuals that are already, for all effective purposes, already federally disbarred. They just don't know it yet.
Little Dutch there.
And Kane Artifio. So they figured out how to do this.
Making up names now.
No, it's his real name.
Anybody can do it.
My name is
Whoa! Can you scroll so we can explain
You want to?
how it's possible to do it today? How to remove your information? Oh, jeez.
It's literally like the instructions.
So it's just showing how to remove your face from face or search engines, which you're not going to be able to do eventually. It's getting weird out there, Felipe.
I'm gonna walk around with instead of black face, green face, bro.
I had a friend of mine who came in here the other day, and he's down to a flip phone. And his flip phone was interesting because it has Android on it. His flip phone, you could actually get text messages on it, and you have a little tiny-ass screen on the flip phone where you can kind of clumsily type your way through a sentence. So you don't have to do it with, like, a full keyboard like an iPhone or your phone, but you also, it's inconvenient, so you don't text as much. You don't go on these long-winded diatribes like a lot of people do. You just real simple.
The whole screen is on there, but you gotta navigate all the way around to read everything.
Yeah,
I remember those.
It's a tiny little ass screen.
Yeah.
It's got regular buttons to make phone calls, and then on his little tiny ass screen is a tiny ass keyboard about that big. And you get in there with that tiny ass keyboard, and you try to type a text message, and then you can push send. And so it's inconvenient. So you don't go on Twitter, you don't check things out, you just get your text messages. It can do other stuff if you absolutely fucking need it to. But live your life, bitch. And he was in here with that. I was like, man, that seems cool, but I like watching YouTube on my phone, so I don't know what to tell you.
That sounds like the Larry Bubbles Brown from San Francisco.
Yeah.
He still has the flip phone.
David Tell.
Wow.
David
My
Tell
bad.
flip phone.
Tuesday or Wednesday. Tuesday or Wednesday, not Wednesday or Thursday. The FBI has a special fuck you in store for those of you going to prison on Tuesday or Wednesday, not Wednesday or Thursday. Tuesday or Wednesday. My bad.
For the last 20 years.
Damn. One of those dudes, a holdout.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes that's good, but it gets annoying sometimes. You know, it's all in, you got to manage
You
your
change
time.
your phone number a lot?
Nice people. People I trust. You got to manage your time.
Yeah.
You know, like the thing is about a guy like you is like you're headlining, you're on the road, dudes want to open up for you, you get the Netflix special, they want to hang out with you. It's like you got to manage your time because you can't give your time away to everybody. Like there's a certain amount of time you need for yourself. If you don't have that time you need for yourself, you go off the rails.
Yeah.
You gotta take time to recenter all the time. And if you're constantly getting this and that, you're constantly interacting, you're never alone, you never without
Fighting
your
with
shit.
people.
Yeah. I get in a sauna and I stretch out every day. I get down there, I fucking stretch everything out. When you're doing that, you can't do anything else. You can't be scrolling on TikTok when you're stretching everything out. You got to just go through your routine. And then that clears my mind. And I feel like if you don't make room for that, you're going to fuck your life up. And I know that there's only so many people that I can entertain and help with stuff. There's so many people that are just, it's a transactional kind of a conversation you have with them. It's not fun. It's not like, what's up, dude? Hey, what's up? Those are great.
Yeah.
But then there's a lot of, could you do this? Would you do that? Will you fly to here and do, and like, hey, enough. You know? So you gotta like know when to change number.
What time you get up?
It depends. Most days 8. I was up at 8.
8 is good. I'll tell you a story like, but bro, I get up at 5 every day.
Yeah, I don't think that's necessary. It's a thing like people always want to do where they want to show themselves that they have the discipline to get up. I respect that. Like Jocko does that. You know Jocko Willink?
No.
No, he is? Jocko is, he's amazing, dude. He's a former Navy SEAL who is like one of the most inspirational guys I know. And he writes books on leadership, just brilliant guy, has an excellent podcast, solid dude, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. And he, like, every morning he takes a photo of his watch that says 4:30 a.m.
Oh, I seen that guy.
This is he's every morning when he's waking up.
Yeah.
You get his shitty Iron Man. I shouldn't say shitty because they're fucking durable as fuck. This little Iron Man triathlon watches. Oh, it looks like he got a new watch. That's a new watch, Jocko. You can't fool me. I know your old watch. Go back to the old watch pictures. Look, so it's every day, 4:30, his fucking watch. Sometimes 4:14. Takes a photo of it, and then he works out. He's just a legit dude.
Wow, that's dedication.
So that's him, though. He likes doing that. But he's not a comedian. You know what I'm saying? I think like for a comedian, you can't be that rigid. You'll get a little psychotic. You can't be that rigid. You got to have discipline, but you also got to have fun. So I don't get up at 4:30. Get the fuck out of here. First of all, I'm up until at least midnight almost every night.
Me too.
I get like most of my best like writing done and my best ideas when everyone in the house is asleep. So when everyone in my house is asleep and I'm up, I like that because I'm like, oh, cool. Nobody needs my attention. Now I can concentrate and I can't concentrate when people are in the house. I feel like I should be hanging out and having fun and being with everybody. I don't want to lock myself up in my office, but that's the only way to write. But for me, it's like late at night is where it's at because everybody's asleep and the world feels creepy. You know, at night, the world feels kind of dangerous and fucked up and stupid. It's like, when you worry about war in the middle of the night, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, you're in front of your computer, you're writing something on Microsoft Word, you're genuinely worried about war.
Yeah.
Genuinely worried that decisions that people are making in this country are going to one day come down on us with holy terror. One day, just in the middle of the city, just boom! Some fucking thermonuclear device that levels a place 4 times the size of Hiroshima instantaneously. I think about that kind of shit late at night.
And you're right. How do you make that funny?
I don't sometimes. Some of it's not funny, but there's funny things attached to it. There's funny things attached to just the way we behave. It's not really, there's nothing funny about the potential for complete annihilation of the human race. But there is something funny about this desire that we have to keep doing the same things we've always done and hope that somehow or another we get it right this time.
Yeah.
And we're on the verge of war all the time. And there's got to be some way to stop that other than funding more war. There's got to be a better way to stop that.
That's funny you said the verge of war. And when you first started doing stand-up comedy, there's been a lot of versions of real wars, huh?
Yeah, the first war when I was so when was Desert Storm? Was that
Desert Storm or Desert Shield?
Which one was which? We had this conversation the other day.
Desert Shield was with Norman Schwarzkopf.
That's Iraq, and that's like 2003?
Yeah.
Right. The one I'm talking about is Desert Storm, which was like 1990. Was it 1990, Jamie?
They're the same?
But yeah, but the first invasion before we pulled out with George W. Bush in Iraq.
Iraq invaded Kuwait on August 20th, 1990.
Yes, I remember that one, yes.
Okay. So when Iraq invaded Kuwait in 1990, then we went to war with Iraq, and I was living with my friend Jimmy, and we were sitting, Jimmy DiTilio, shout out to Jimmy. We were sitting in our apartment in the living room, and the war was on TV, and we were like, holy shit, man, we're at war. I remember thinking, this can't even be real.
It just happened at night, right? We started watching the air raids.
Yeah, it started as Desert Shield, and then when we started going after, like, Ham was Desert Storm.
Yeah.
And what year was that?
90. That's just like a year later. It's 91.
So Desert Shield was to protect, and Desert Storm was to destroy.
It was dropping off.
Bill Hicks had the best material about that. Oh my God, his material about the war was great. They have such sophisticated weapons. How do you know? We got the receipts. We love to arm puppet dictators and then fuck them up. You know, it's like Clint Eastwood movie. Pick up the gun. You know, it's like Dirty Harry.
I tell you, I know what you're thinking.
Yeah.
Fire 4.
Or tell you the truth, I kind of forgot myself.
My favorite one is when the Unforgiven, man, when the guy's crying because he killed somebody. He goes, that's what happened when you kill a man. You take away all he ever wanted and all he ever had.
Yeah. That movie was the best Western movie, I think, ever. Like, of that kind of Clint Eastwood genre. That was almost like he was coming back to update it. You know, because he had all the bangers, you know, Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, A Fistful of Dollars, like incredible.
Outlaw Josie Wells.
Yeah. Oh, Outlaw Josie Wells that was another level too. But then it's like, Unforgiven was the one where it like really gave you a sense of what it must have been like living in the Wild West. It was just the people were more real.
Yeah.
It was more updated to like the movies of that era, like the Morgan Freeman character. It was a fucking great movie, man. It's a great like Western movie and just a hard story, man.
I like that line when you go in there to get those people that killed Morgan Freeman. You just shot an unarmed man.
Yeah.
He should have armed himself.
Yeah.
If he's gonna decorate his place with a friend of mine.
Yeah, that was a hardcore movie, man. That was a hardcore movie.
You saw
But isn't it funny that we always want to think about that kind of shit happening out west? We don't want to believe that kind of same shit was happening out east.
Yeah.
Animals everywhere. Animals. People were animals back then. They were barely human.
Hang 'em high.
Can you imagine if we had to do fucking stand up in 1820? Can you imagine? First of all, you're getting sick everywhere because there's no sewage. So everybody's just got shit in the streets. Everywhere you go, you're breathing shit fumes. You're stepping in shit everywhere.
That's what I think about now. When I watch those movies now, like Gangs of New York,
Yeah.
I look to myself, but man, it fucking stinks.
Oh, bro.
Out there, people are like ignoring the fucking stink. There's a rotting body right there.
Bro, it probably was so rank.
Fucking
They didn't have
stink.
anywhere to get rid of their shit.
That's it. And I read that that little napkin that they had on the big white wig people. They had like a little handkerchief, and they would just carry it, bro, and they would have perfume on it. They would put it in their nose so they wouldn't have to smell like the poor people.
Well, it wasn't just that, man. It was the shit in the streets because they didn't have cars, so they had horses. The horses would shit all over the roads.
And nobody had a job picking it up yet.
Oh, dude.
One job was someone would just put down like a handkerchief so you could walk over it.
Oh, just fucking clean it up, you lazy bitch.
And throwing like shit water out of a pan. Look at this.
That's like shit. Imagine breathing that every day. There's no way that's good for you. You think scented candles are bad for you? Imagine the people that lived back then.
You heard
hearing
about
us complain
You
about
heard
scented
about
candles.
ultra rays?
Whoa. Poop once flowed freely in the streets of New York. Look, that was a poop pipe that would go right down the street. Jesus Christ.
Oh man, when I was at my grandma's house in Mexico, they still had an outhouse. They didn't have no plumbing.
Bro, isn't it interesting? Because this is a terrible way to live that people insisted on doing it this way.
I was thinking the day that they figured it out, you're like, oh my God, what the?
But imagine, because you had to figure it out to get it to where it is now, right? So people had to go through that to get to the Manhattan of today, where it's all super sophisticated, amazing hotels, amazing restaurants. But why would you stick around? If you're breathing in shit every day, you go live on a farm, I'd be like, fuck this experiment. This is terrible. This is not for us. This is for the benefit of people in the future. We're destroying.
Soil men who carted away America's waste.
Bro, you know how sick people must have been back then? No antibiotics. Everybody's breathing in shit. You fall, you slip, you skin your knee gets infected with staph, you die.
Oh man,
you got shit in your knee.
Which turns into MRSA.
People are gagging as this cart would
And then
walk
it goes
by.
to your heart, and you have a heart attack.
On a summer day in 1873, a cart stood on 6th Avenue in New York City, filled to the brink with raw human waste. The cart was uncovered, its contents exposed to the air and to the passersby who retched and gagged as they scurried away. Excrement dipped off the sides of the cart, and the sidewalks and gutters were smeared with the stuff. The stench was so strong that it could be smelled from more than a block away. It was another day in pre-sewer America. Bro!
And meanwhile, you're
and
reading.
Here's the thing, man. This is after the Civil War.
Yeah.
This is 1873.
And you're in Italy reading books talking about the streets are made of gold.
Night soil. They call it night soil.
Night soil.
They used it for they used it for compost, right?
Oh, so just
it was the name euphemistically given to human waste because it was removed from the privies under the cloak of darkness so that polite society would be spared from confronting its own feces as the men carted the crap away, leaving a trail of stench in their wake. Every year in cities across the country, thousands of carts brimming with excrement rattled through the night streets. There was an antiquated solution to a modern problem. America's cities were full of crap. So the people were just throwing the shit in the streets.
Yes.
Oh, how much could those guys get paid?
It's not
Shitty.
possible. It's shitty. They got paid shitty.
What a shitty job.
Dude, in the Middle Ages,
Imagine being at a
castles
bar.
had
Imagine.
toilets which
Imagine.
fell down onto hay,
Ugh.
and there was a man whose
Oh,
job
get a
was
horse
to live
pulled
down
wagon
there in
filled
the
with
hay
shit.
room
That
where
is
the shit
so
and the pee fell and
crazy.
clean it up.
So living back then was hell, bro. We're so lucky. And
How do
that's
I know
they're
that,
gonna look
dude?
at
Because
us.
of the
These
really
future
badass
beings that
wax
no
museum
longer
in
have
Victoria,
war,
DC.
that no longer have greed
They
or
have
anger.
a
These future
section
beings
there
that are connected
called
to the
like
hive
Terrors
mind.
in the
They're gonna
Tower.
look back at us.
It's all about like
There
the
you
most
go.
disgusting shit about the Middle
Like
Ages.
idiots.
Mostly
That
torture,
breath stunk, I bet.
One of
torture
the dumping
devices,
grounds was a field
but
near
also
the
random
White
facts like
House,
that.
where a marsh of Washingtonian waste
Also, here's
putrefied
another
under
one,
the
dude.
president's
One of
nose.
the
This
really
suggests
common
this may have been a
punishments in the
contributing
Middle
factor
Ages,
to
everybody
President
knows the
Harris's untimely
guillotine,
death in
you know, being
1841.
put in those little
Since the White
stalls where
House
people
water
could throw
source
food
was
at
a mere
them,
7
being
blocks
burned
downstream.
alive, having your head put on a
Oh my
spike.
God!
Another
Filled the
big one, though,
president with
most people
shit
don't know,
water.
is having a hook go
Oh
right
my
through your
God!
torso
That'll dysentery.
and then leaving you
Bro, this is
hanging in
why
a
you
dungeon
can't
while
trust
rats
the
jump on
experts
your
who are looking out
body
for
and
your
eat
health.
you
They
slowly
didn't even
and you
protect the
die.
president. Somebody concocted this idea,
That was another
and they
big
never
one.
even thought about
In
the
Britain.
potential for ruining all the water that people drink.
The stretching
They
racks
just said this is a
too,
good place
gnarly,
to
man.
dump all this.
Remember those from The Princess Bride? Those were a real
nasty.
thing, guys.
People are so
They'd
nasty.
stretch you out till they broke every bone in your body.
Oh man, I also think about
That's so nasty.
Sick.
and condoms back then were probably still sheep's wool, right?
Sheepskin.
Sheepskin.
Yeah,
Anybody
Oh, my
wondering about
God.
an
I saw a
update?
movie
The
where a
Osama
woman-
bin Ladens and female
guy-
Kim Jong
a
Uns
woman was-
upstairs have been
was-
actively
she was
attempting to
washing
terminate
the-
this.
The contraceptive
Yeah.
right after this
Why?
white
To
wig guy
perpetrate
threw it at her face.
that remaining
Wow.
breaking and entering.
So she's using the same one for every man.
The same one that's been premeditated,
Oh,
reported.
So they
It's
didn't
on
have,
record. And why is it
even
being
by
allowed?
1880s,
Well, according to the
2/3 flushing
FBI,
toilets
for a
still just went
variety
into a
of
backyard
reasons.
cesspool,
But one of them apparently is there's some other
Overflowing
individuals that
privy was a
apparently
sight
want to
to
go to
behold.
prison, so
James
the FBI
McCabe's
wants them to do a little bit more.
1882 account of New York street life.
Oh, do
He
a
described one
little
man's
bit
yard in which the
more.
privy's contents drained down into a
And
street
your wish
sewer,
to go to prison
forming
will
a
be granted.
miniature loathsome Niagara of night soil.
Niagara.
The cascading sewage flowed right by the window, so that a man sitting on a chair at the window would not have only
And
the
keep in
odor,
mind,
but
I have
also
no
the
idea who
views
that
of this
applies to. I don't know if
loathsome
that
matter
applies to Unit
circulating at his
207,
feet in the
alleyway
pool
stalkers,
below.
officers at the North Everett Precinct right
Yeah, see,
now.
this is why
I got no
everybody was
idea.
so sick.
I just know there's some people that the
This
FBI
is
are like, oh, would
why
you
it's
like
under
to
the
go to
plague.
prison?
Well, also, like,
Do a
there's
couple
no
more
fucking,
things for us.
No one's clean.
Cholera outbreak, 1849.
Yeah, I would say that is the biggest breakthrough ever in the controlling of diseases. The biggest breakthrough is sanitation.
I was just thinking about
Health and
too,
sanitation.
using these words dumping grounds in this time period too. This is the same time those bones were dumped in the East River with who knows.
Yeah, there's not enough vaccines in the world to protect you when you're living like that. You know? I mean, imagine the pharmaceutical drug companies would try to sell you if you were living like that, and they figured out how to counteract all the different things that you're inhaling in the air from human shit. every
That's
day.
so nasty, man.
So nasty.
So they're
They
dumping
killed the
bodies.
president, bro.
Wow, imagine him getting up in the morning, waking up in the morning. Good morning, everybody.
I'm glad you just said that about dumping bodies, because this is a thing I need to say to you, Jamie. I'm so
And
glad
on that
you brought
note,
up.
if you're wondering what the latest brief was to me, guys, it was this, minus the C word. Minus the C word. Shut the fuck up. You're a fucking cunt. Remember, minus the C word. It was shut the fuck up, bitch. That was the latest brief from the FBI. But let's listen to the song. If it shows up. Yeah, here we go. This isn't the version I was looking for, but it's called Shut the Fuck Up, Cunt. It's looking like a winner. 1979. Shut the fuck up. You're a fucking bitch. That was the FBI's latest brief to me. So maybe I shouldn't have said that. But again, remember, there's some people that the FBI is like, oh, you want to go to prison too? Do a couple more things for us.
Shut
Please hold space for the awesomeness of this song. It is not the version I was looking for. This is a better version, dude. From 1979, man. They don't make them like they used to.
Shut the fuck up, cunt!
Again, it was shut the fuck up, bitch. But I've been dropping the cunt word a lot because there's been some cunts around. It's fitting. Here, fishy, fishy, don't take a nibble, eat that bait, gobble it up. Nummy, nummy, num, there's a hook in your face, you dumb fucking fuck. That was the FBI's way, if you're wondering, of telling me, you're the bait, shut the fuck up. That's what it means every time they tell me to shut the fuck up. It means you're the bait. Instead, I'm like, you don't really want to bite me. You don't want to be crying in a federal penitentiary. Shut the fuck up. There you go, everybody. Does that make you feel better? The latest brief. Shut the fuck up, bitch.
Because I read this. I don't want to fuck this up. I want to figure out what the fuck this actually means. Here, I'm going to send this to you, Jeremy. It's about liquid human remains.
Liquid human remains?
Yeah. So, what this article is saying, oh, it's like an Instagram thing. Then being fed back to the population via fertilizer on crops. That.
So he's making pozole
I don't know.
with
I hope it's not true.
Making menudo with people or what?
I don't know. It sounded like they were using it for fertilizer, using people for fertilizer, and using people for supplements somehow or another. Like how they're saying you're boiling down a human body.
Are they compensating the family?
I don't know, but also there's no DNA. So what did you need the body for? Like,
yeah.
I don't understand what, the whole body's DNA. Like, what are you saying? There's no DNA. So what did you broke it down to chemicals? So now it's okay. So you broke the human body, the container of a soul, down to chemicals, and you're going to pour it on your flowers, and that's okay? That seems weird.
No, it's all made up.
It seems weird. Like, how the fuck, we should find out how the fuck they do it. Is there a video we can watch on them doing it?
And how do they liquefy them with hot water?
It said hot water and something else. They added some other stuff, too. But whatever, man. What the fuck? Is this it? Oh, 5 years ago. Oh my God. The most eco. Let's listen to this. Can we? No.
Do they put them in there alive?
No, Felipe, these are dead bodies. They're just cooking them up nice. And that's what they get? Like little bones and pieces?
Well, I want to be cremated, but if that's an option.
Yeah, but you don't want your body being resold as fertilizer. It's just weird to pour dead people on top of your fucking carrots so they grow better.
It's a weird spot to be in for the whistleblowers, man. I feel for you guys. Also feel for the new blood. I don't know if the new blood's upstairs, but remember, there's at least one poor soul that was literally instructed to go work in Unit 207 after it became a domestic terrorist organization, and his superiors literally decided, we want to send you to prison.
Can you Google and see if there's other stories that say that? Okay, I'm not pushing.
So whoever that person is.
I gotta read. Oh, I understand.
First off, I'm so sorry for you. You got no idea. I mean, I'm sure you know at this point, and you're just fucking stuck there, dude. What a shit show. Poor you. Next, whistleblowers. This is fucked up. And the FBI literally had me tell you guys ahead of time, your risk of retaliation was 100% worse than what you've done to me. I mean, that is scary as fuck, dude.
Do they have to tell you, like, how they have to tell you if you're going to buy
and to everybody else. Fuck all the way off. You're going to be in prison while the rest of us have so much money
You see
That we
oak
can go
tree?
to Jamaica
That's
for a fucking
Joe
week
Diaz, by
and
the
just
way.
get drunk and
What?
stoned
No,
and never tell a
They're
soul.
making them to a soil, right? So,
Oh, right,
so you
right,
see
right,
that oak
right.
tree
That's
right
the
there?
differences
Please,
between
Joey
our
Diaz.
Which
summers.
is Jewish particles. That's right, cocksuckers.
Do you think they have to tell you though that you're buying dead people fertilizer, or they just consider it chemicals at that point? How do they get away with selling you dead people? Because it seems like if
Also,
you had the
just
option,
shout out to the
hey, do you want,
FBI
like,
too, man.
manure
Patented
Like,
or dead
not
people?
only could I never work for the FBI, but like there are
Whoa,
undercover
that's in
agents in this
1888.
case, and that's got to be even harder than being a
They've been
whistleblower, knowing the whole
boiling
time
people
you're
and
like
turn them
these
into
sacks of
fertilizer
shit.
since the 1800s.
That's
Yes,
So
sacks
we
of
have that
shit.
machine,
Yes,
but
Kim
not no
Jong Un.
fucking
You make
sewage.
the best rockets. Doesn't she make
Wow.
the best rockets?
But the scary thing is what them
Funny how
saying
she
that they
makes
use
them
it
and then
for
she detonates
calcium
them and goes and hides in a
deficiencies.
fucking different
Because that
street,
means you're
eh?
feeding
That's pretty
people
funny.
other people's bones so they can get a source of calcium.
Yeah.
But that guy's vegan, so don't give it to him.
Maybe it's okay because the person consented.
Yeah, that's true.
She's chosen to go extinct, but in the event that she stays alive and doesn't go extinct and just spends the rest of her life in a prison, dude, I think she should come back as a young man
So
sent to
body
the front
plus 95%
line.
water,
That's what I
5% alkaline, basic chemicals, either potassium
Nowhere to run
hydroxide
to,
or sodium
coward.
hydroxide,
Nowhere
or
to
a combo,
hide.
sterile effluent, water, salt, sugars, amino acids, peptides, bone fragments, calcium phosphate. So that's what they
It's either
get
that
out
or
of
having
it.
her
So
come
they
back as a
boil
coffee
it
table.
down
You know
in
how
this
it is.
solution, and they get out all these different things: water, salt, sugar, amino acids, peptides, and then calcium phosphate. And then I guess what do they do with the calcium? So if you're buying calcium and you find out it's from dead people, they should probably
She'd probably go
let you
AWOL.
know.
I feel like
You
she would
probably
just
should have to let
abandon her
people know
platoon.
that.
She'd run away and
I
hide.
dream dead people.
You would sell a lot if you made it from dead people, for sure. Like if you had a skull and crossbones
Then
on
she'd
the
be
bottle,
captured and
there's a lot
held
of
as a
assholes that buy
POW.
that.
But then people start looking at that like they look at Chica. How was he raised? What kind of parents did he have?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, if you're really into,
Did he have anxiety problems?
are you really into eating someone? What if they were a fucked up person and you take a little bit of their soul inside of you and you go insane?
Be crazy, man.
Well, that's got to be what's happening with the cannibals when they get that disease. They get shaky. The prion disease that they get from eating each other.
Did Jeffrey Dahmer have that?
I don't think so. I think you have to eat spinal tissue.
Oof.
You have to eat brain and spinal tissue, and they're called prions. The thing about